behind a legacy that transcends national borders. Former First Lady of Namibia, Monica Gingo, said Ambassador Beho belonged to a generation of leaders who pursued freedom and justice with conviction, placing the interest of the continent above personal ambition.
Ambassador Beho, to us, many of us, represents the last of a generation of African leaders. I know him through my husband, the former president of Namibia, the late President Hage Geingob. And Hage and Ambassador Gebo come back a long, long way. When they were both in New York in the 60s and the 70s. At that time, my late husband was a petitioner to the United Nations. He then became Prime Minister of a free Namibia. Then he became president of Namibia, and they retained their relationship. But I think the relationship was built in the crucible of our struggle. Namibia had apartheid, and they were fighting against apartheid South Africa. And Ambassador was critical in that fight. It's Africans who believed in a free Africa, free of colonialism and apartheid, and it's men who believed in an ideal that was bigger than themselves. And I think what we'll miss about Ambassador is really his selflessness. It's not men who cared about material things, it's not men who cared about themselves, they cared about principles. And we want to see that in a generation of younger African leaders.
For many, the farewell was not only a tribute to a distinguished diplomat, but also a celebration of a life dedicated to public service, African unity, and lasting peace. For Joy News, Martha Sawabwacho's report, read to you.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, 2 male patients receiving treatment and at the accident and emergency unit of the Ejisto Government Hospital in the Ashanti region reportedly engaged in a violent fight causing damage to hospital computers and other equipment. A viral video circulating on social media shows the 2 men exchanging blows inside the hospital ward. There's more in the following report.
One of the injured patients allegedly became enraged while on admission, got off his bed and attacked the other patient who was also receiving treatment. Health workers on duty intervened to attempt to separate the 2 men. However, the scuffle resulted in the destruction of several desktop computers and other hospital equipment. Some health workers who spoke on condition of anonymity said the incident occurred on Monday morning.
Well, accidents and emergency pharmacy when I'm saying they be because me nkosha me pay ya kese me ma mienu 2 men and o ma konto kwa ma o ma preprom I think ba ko de se kan kwa wo ba kwane.
I was at the accident and emergency unit when I heard a noise from outside. When I came out, I saw 2 men engaged in a heated exchange. One had stabbed the other. We tried to separate them, but to no avail. They destroyed computers and other hospital equipment. We had to call the police to restore calm.
No, we are please giddy boy computers in your next videos now. Almost says a computers in your said I'm afraid police for I'm a police for Abamusisia or Mabeka situation.
Information gathered by the news team indicates that the patient, alleged to have initiated a fight and caused damage to the equipment, remains on admission under police surveillance. When the news team visited the hospital to seek official clarification, management declined to comment, stating that the appropriate authorities were unavailable. They noted that the violence caused panic among other patients and staff, but calm was restored after about an hour, allowing normal hospital operations to resume. Joseph Oben's report for Joy News.
It's time for business updates on the AM News.
Well, let's do some business updates now. And government has announced measures to support agro-processing, including the removal of the 20% excise duty on locally manufactured fruit juices. Here is Minister for Finance, Dr. Akosua, when he presented a 2026 mid-year budget review in Parliament.
We will review the existing sliding scale excise rates for beer and stout product to better align them with government revenue objectives while preserving the incentive for local production. Right, Honorable Speaker, strengthening compliance through mandatory electronic registration of stockists, a nationwide track and trace system, penalties of up to 3 times the excise duty for tampering, and enforcing the law on requiring bank guarantees, and abolishing, Mr. Speaker, the payment of 20% excise duty on locally manufactured fruit juice. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 20% excise duty on locally manufactured fruit juices introduced in 2023. Right, Honorable Speaker, this is to support agro-processing and job creation.
Well, meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison, says the move is expected to significantly boost Ghana's agro-processing and agricultural export sector while creating more employment opportunities across the agricultural value chain.
We were the biggest. As it stands now, we've lost the entire pineapple industry. We only have 2 commercial farms now left. So we think that this will go a long way to revitalize the pineapple sector and also drive some exports. You know, previously pineapple was the biggest fruit exporter among all the fruits, but now we have lost it. We also want to commend the president once again because if you are talking about creating jobs, you know, jobs in the very physical level that are supporting economies. These are the areas that you can count. We're talking about the mango factories, the cashew processing facilities, the fruit juice, the dry fruits, and several derivatives that we are talking about. And this is what we want to see in real terms that are going to contribute positively towards the agro-industry sector.
Now, Managing Director of Enterprise Trustees Joseph Ampofo says the company's assets under management have increased from about 4 billion to 5.9 billion Ghana cedis, with much of the growth driven by investment returns rather than new contributions. Now, speaking at the scheme annual general meeting, he explained that the company remains focused on safeguarding members' funds through prudent investment decisions, stronger governance standards, and improved cybersecurity, while encouraging employers to remit pension contributions on time to maximize investment returns.
Trustee says its assets under management have increased from about 4 billion Ghana cedis to 5.9 billion Ghana cedis, with investment returns accounting for a significant portion of the growth. Speaking at the scheme annual general meeting, Managing Director Joseph Ampofo says the company's diversification strategy and focus on prudent investment have helped deliver real returns for members despite inflationary pressures.
I'm happy to confirm that the scheme has grown significantly from almost about 4 billion to about 5.9 billion. And we continue to see that the diversification agenda that we put in has also helped to be able to show up the assets. I mean, in terms of investment returns, when you take a look at the 5.9 billion, a majority of it comes from the returns that have come as a result of the prudent investments that we did. So quite clearly, there's a steady growth. We ended a CAGR of a very healthy CAGR, meaning that members are leaving or have their funds, which is real returns, which far beats inflation levels.
Mr. Ampofo adds that it is strengthening the company's governance and cybersecurity systems while encouraging employers to make timely pension contributions to improve investment outcomes.
For us, one of the things we've done, and we are the first in the pensions industry to do this, we got ourselves certified, ISO certified. just to be able to help us to be able to have that kind of financial prudence, cybersecurity prudence. So in terms of positioning our fund to be able to do much bigger things. The other side is the fact that we're also engaging with our service providers to be able to give us robust investment ideas. And also, we're also on the market to ensure that employers pay on time, such that we can also invest the contributions we receive on time to receive the benefits that are due members.
Enterprise Trustee says it will continue to prioritize safe and strategic investment while exploring opportunities that deliver sustainable returns and secure the retirement of future members.
And that's it for business update on the AM News. Back to you, Nicholas.
My Hunter brother for bringing us the latest in business. But I mean, before we go, what do you make of yesterday's mid-year budget review presentation?
Well, as far as he's not asking for, he didn't ask for more money. That is fine. What we have to do is to really interrogate the relationship between the good numbers on the books and the realities on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, he said that tomatoes and some few products have come down because of the inflation that we are seeing. Is that the case when you go to the market? I mean, I have people who tell me that tomatoes is expensive now. They cannot buy. So, I mean, look, we are Ghanaians. We live the experience of the true economy.
Yeah.
The finance minister will present his the data or the figures, but you check your pocket and ask yourself, is that what I am seeing? If that's not what you're seeing, well, that's it. But you have to applaud them. At least the exchange rate has been stabilized for some time. It's good. It helps in business planning. But my beef is, for us as local producers, I heard them say they've removed the excise duty on local juices. But we should be strategic in how we allow foreign product boss our local product. I'm into the rice production value chain. Yeah. We produce Ghana rice. And when we show you our rice, you ask yourself, why is it locally produced? It is. But we get to the market and the foreign rice is beating us to price. Rational human being will go to the market to go and buy produce. And he or she will look at, okay, which one is the cheapest? So why don't we have some measures to restrict how much we import? You know how much we produce in Ghana. We produce around 1 million tons of rice. Yeah. How much do you have to produce to support? We consume around 1.8 million tons of rice a year. It means that you have to import 800,000 tons, but we end up importing more than necessary. Yeah. And when that happens, the farmer in that land is being subsidized by the government. So they sell their produce at a very, very cheap price. We cannot do that. Yeah. So when we go to the market, we are priced out. What is government doing? That's what I want to hear. It's about we're doing that. Yes, measures are good, but we need to ensure we protect the local producer. It's good we are removing the excise on local juices. Yeah. How about the rice? What measures are we putting up to ensure that we limit how much we import? Because as for rice, we have done enough. Maize, we have done enough. Yeah. But when you allow people to import so much, today a farmer planned last season thinking that I'll sell my 50 kg of bag, say at 700. Today it's around 200, 250. Yeah. How much has the farmer lost? Are we thinking about the farmer? So yeah, there's a lot, but we are happy, but there's a lot more that needs to be done. The economy, it should not just be on books. Inflation is good, but people cannot buy. People who are selling cannot sell because there's no money. That should concern the finance minister.
Anyway, I think we also need to build the capacity of the local farmers so that they'll be able to produce more. Yeah. At a point, But
when we produce more,
people don't even buy.
Marketing is a problem here. Yeah. So we should go the Nigerian way. We don't say total ban. You know how much you produce. Yeah. So just say limit importation to that number. You cannot import more than we produce in Ghana. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll delve, deeper into this conversation during the news review segment. But for now, that's all for the AM show. The AM news was brought to you by Palladium Residences. Coming up next is Sport with Haruna Mubarak. I am Nicholas Eko Yamwa. Good morning.
Thank you.
Always a good period seeing you. How has everything been in Ghana for you so far?
Thank you. Yeah, they have been good. The only thing that have been a little bit negative is all of the rain that have affected us a little bit. So we actually have missed 2 trainings opportunities. But in the same way, it's out of our control. So otherwise, just good. Good to catch up with all of the girls, and we're having a good time together.
Yeah, you've had one WAFCON tournament under your belt already, getting ready for the second one. But this, what we say, the final window before the tournament itself starts. Just as I put to you, how has the girls responded to everything that you've gone through since you opened camping?
Yeah, there had been a process now for 1.5 years since I came in. I think everything had been going as we planned. We used the friendly games in the start to rotate the squad, to implement new things with the goal to be ready in the WAFCON, and we performed very well in the WAFCON, in the previous WAFCON. And since this, the process have just been going in the right direction the whole time. And with 1 year of experience from the previous tournament, we are ready to attack the upcoming WAFCON.
Many things I speak to people a lot, and they do appreciate it, the fact that you have the core of your team from the last WAFCON still around. How big of an advantage is that for you and for the younger ones or the new faces that have come in?
I think it's important. I don't remember exactly the number, but it was almost like 90 new players or something like that did their first WAFCON. Yeah. So you saw it in especially the first half. We played against South Africa. There were many like nervous players. They didn't know what to expect, and those kind of things that. And we lost the first game, and it was probably the last time we played a bad half, especially the first half, like I said. So we are hoping that we are more ready in the first half in the upcoming WAFCON. So I think the experience can, at least in the first game, can help us a little bit, but who knows?
How important will those core of your players from the last WAFCON being available be for you going into the second WAFCON under your
of course, it will be important. Like I said, many players now have good experience from the tournament. They know in the way that I want to play, so they're used to that. But in the same time, there are also other players that's knocking on the door. I think we have been rotating the squad pretty much. It's keep the energy in the group. It's also always a balance for some players to feel that they will be there in long term, but it's also to put a little bit pressure on themselves. They can't just walk around here when they're here. They need to perform. Otherwise, there will be someone else that's gonna come in and take their place. So it's a mix.
Look, from where I sit, even as a journalist, one thing that got me frustrated was the conversation about whether the WAFCON will happen, whether it won't happen, when it will happen, exactly the window. For you as the head coach for your players, with that uncertainty, how did it affect you?
Of course it affects us. I mean, we had a plan from the start to play the WAFCON in the spring. We had the most of our players in the middle of the season. Now the most of them will finish the season, and they will be off instead. We also planned for it. We had a Dubai camp with good games. So of course it's not good for anyone, but it is what it is, and now we need to plan again and be ready.
Look, if there's one thing I take from your answer that delights me, it's the fact that you mentioned the Dubai camp, where we also how brilliant and hot form your team was. Did it give you the kind of sort of preparations you wanted as part of your preparatory moment for the WAFCON?
Yeah, the Dubai situation was a difficult one, of course, with everything that's going on there. But in the end of the day, we had two really good games. We won against Hong Kong 4-0, and the same result against Russia. And you can see the Russian results stands really good, I will say. I think there are 28 or 27 in the world right now. They just played 2 games against China. China, I think, is 16 or 17 in the world. They won both of them. So it shows a little bit where we are. I don't see us as a national team that is around this 60 in FIFA ranking, because I know that we can beat the teams that are around 20. Yeah.
Look, for me, I always want to use myself as an example, because when the team is qualifying for a tournament, or when the team qualifies, it brings a sort of excitement for me. It boosts my CV as well. How excited is this squad ahead of their return to the WAFCON?
I think they are super excited. In a little bit different way if I compare with the previous one, because Ghana missed some of the WAFCON befores and had some negative results. So I think there was a different feeling before the last WAFCON. Now it's more that we're gonna try to go for it. I know it's not gonna be easy. There are probably 8-9 teams that actually can win the tournament, but we are one of them, and we're gonna do our best.
Considering your performance, because a 3rd place, a bronze medal was over the roof. Considering how we played in the first game, the first half of that first game against South Africa, had opportunity of being among some friends who were mentioning, are you sure this team is capable of? But in the end, we went on to win a bronze medal. From where you sit, would you say the demands are even higher, looking at what you did in the last WAFCON?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can go all the way and win the gold, but it's a little bit dangerous to say it, or of course you have to believe that you can win the tournament, otherwise there's no reason to play it at all. But like I said, I know there are like 8-9 other teams that can do the same thing, so we need to respect that as well. Do everything we can, prepare in the best way, and like always, you need a little bit of luck as well, good performances and good luck, and then maybe.
You happen to be, I know your first reactions when the draw came out, but you also happen to be in the same group as Cameroon, Cape Verde, and Mali. For you, from where you sit, what are the expectations like?
Yeah, I watched Cape Verde yesterday. A little bit difficult to know exactly their level. We haven't played against them. I've only watched one full game with them. So I think they will be a little bit a dark horse in our group, okay? Mali, we played a draw against in the previous WAFCON, and Cameroon squad, when you're looking at this, is really, really good. So I think it's going to be a tough group, but we know how good we can be. So we're going to do everything we can to make it to the playoff, and then step by step.
Coach, from where you sit, do you think this is a Black Queen squad that is capable of going to Morocco again and doing the unthinkable?
They can absolutely go all the way and win the goal. It's not going to be easy. It's maybe 8-9 teams that can do the same thing. It's going to be like 3-4 50-50 games. Almost like a coin flip. You just need to make sure that we do everything we can to be prepared, and always you need a little bit of luck, but I'm positive.
If there's one thing that has been in demand for a very long time, it has to be a World Cup spot. Do you think, or do you feel this is finally the year where we get out, go onto the pitch and grab that spot by the scruff of its head?
We can absolutely do it. I mean, if we had a similar way to make the World Cup, like the men's, when you play more games, I will be pretty sure that we could make it. This way to play like more or less like a playoff, when you're like up in a quarterfinal to make it. It makes it more difficult, of course, because you can have like just a bad day and then you're out. I mean, if you play 8 games or whatever it is, you still can have one bad day, but then you can have 7 good days and then make it. So it's a little bit more tricky, but of course I believe in the girls, and that's our goal to make it to the World Cup.
Something you keep referencing is the fact that this is a 2-in-1 World Cup, 2-in-1 WAFCON, because there's a title to fight for, there's a World Cup slot to to fight for. Do you feel there's a certain level of anxiety amongst your squad as to we need to be there at all costs?
I don't think so. We put pressure on ourselves. We know the expectations, but it comes more from each other. I would say that we want to improve. We have been talking about now that we want to be like 5-10% better than in the previous WAFCON. I think we can be that. So it means that we're gonna have more meetings. We're gonna have more different set pieces. We have more ways to attack. We are looking at the details, how we can defend even better. So we are looking more the smaller details than we have done before, and hopefully that's going to make us 10% better, and 10% can make us maybe 60-40 in the 50-50 game, if it makes sense. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Personally for you, what targets or what bar are you setting for yourself as far as your return to Morocco is concerned?
It's not about me, it's about what we are doing as a group, and the target, like the big target, and the most important, I would say, is to make top 4 performance. I said it already a year ago. I think Ghana always have to be a top 4, and if you make the top 4 in every WAFCON, you sooner or later will win. Sometimes it's going to finish with a bronze medal, but sooner or later you will be in the final, and then you give you a chance to win. And especially now when top 4 is giving you the World Cup. So we need to do everything we can.
Assets amongst the fans, assets with the fans, assets in a position where I can't make judgment on my own. But if we are to look at expectations from the fans' perspective, what should we be looking out for?
I mean, I know how it is here in Ghana. We always dream about the gold, and I mean, support us, believe in the girls, and believe that we can go all the way. But again, I'm coming back to there are 8-9 teams that can go all the way. So we are not the only one, but we're going to do our best.
When I heard the campaign will be happening in Ghana, one thing I mentioned to Matoda was the fact that it gives the team a good opportunity for Ghanaians to send them off. Do you feel training in front of Ghanaians, playing a few matches, I mean unofficial, but test games, gives this team a sense of entitlement to say that maybe you have seen these fans come in even during working hours to come and watch us. We need to repay them with something.
Yeah, I understand. It's so important that the 12th player are actually the people here in Ghana. And of course, we will love that many people are coming to the stands and supporting us in the game, but also we know that they're going to sit back home, watch us from on the TV. So it's important to come back here to Ghana. We haven't been here that much since I came in. So I'm happy that we can be here. We can have some Ghanaian food, and we can be around here in Accra, and that's important for us. Yeah.
Coach, 2 of your players, I'm going to limit you to Portia and then Cynthia. For Portia, I mean, you watch her every year, and it feels like instead of her form to dip, she keeps getting better. How important has she been for this team?
I mean, how is it possible? She gets older and getting better, and it's not so normal coming in that age, but she's just keep improving, and she's fast enough as well, which actually surprised me a little bit, but she's so helpful for us. On the pitch, of course, we all can see with her left foot, center backs, the way she leads, but I would say even maybe more off the pitch. So I'm extremely happy to have her as a captain.
If there's one thing people see from our national teams is the fact that players progress from the youth teams through to the senior national team. One player who's done that has to be Cynthia. Played with the U17s, U20s, and eventually got the nod to be the Black Queens Black Queens, sorry, she's not taking your positions. The Black Queens goalkeeper. How big of an impact is she to players who rise from the youth teams and then to her other goalkeepers as well?
I think it's really important. I think there are so many talented players here in Ghana, She's just one example, but she has been really good. And I think when you look at her, I think she plays on maybe like 50% of her capacity. So it shows that there's so much more job to do there. We know many times a goalkeeper is just getting better with the age because the goalkeeper's job is to take decisions, and the good decisions comes with experience. So I think we see a goalkeeper there is one of the best in Africa already now, but imagine in 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Coach, it's been a good conversation.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay.
We hope that we'll meet you at the airport with loads of fun, just like we did the last time.
Okay. Hope so. Thank you. Thank you.
Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address, it's the home you truly earned. Secure your place with just a 10% deposit and choose from beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant, curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym, and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy while retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection, executive pricing, and flexible payment options available. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
Eye bibi kitua bi na den sakraya ba. Etoda a ehya ase free baby out. Hwepa enye dede na emom eyedin bre a obiara ani nwuso.
Suban pasha asiefi meso ne woso wofie.
Good conduct, great life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gary Soaking Mix. A taste of Ghana.
Zuera Mohammed Ibrahima, the Honorable Member of Parliament for the good people of the Salaga South constituency. My constituency in Salaga South, you know how far we've traveled. We traveled this path together, and you know me better. And I know you can go anywhere in this world, thump your chest and say, our Member of Parliament's democracy is not for sale. She's never sold it, and she will never sell it.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults?
This price for teenagers.
It's a bargain, as the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It's been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Misses bad referee decisions. Don't let your child's grade suffer a bad match. Ensure a straight win this academic season with curriculum-aligned textbooks and interactive tools from Pegasus Publishing. From preschool to senior high school, we have the exact game plan your kids need to ace their classes. And because it's World Cup season, you get a massive 20% off every single book. Don't drop points. Call 059-50-10175 or dash to Pegasus Publishing in Accra, Newtown, right opposite the Total Energy Station. Free delivery within Accra when you call. Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures.
Through every stage of life, let's go. Some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era. Love was service. The silent statement of love. A thoughtful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This
Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in a maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to Govt.
See magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. No more pencil than talk matter beer. Coffee Ghana. Classic. Oh, number one.
At Govt, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
Govt, classic Govt, number one.
Cadbury hot chocolate. Crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treats you deserve every day.
Missed passes, bad referee decisions. Don't let your child's grade suffer a bad match. Ensure a straight win this academic season with curriculum-aligned textbooks and interactive tools from Pegasus Publishing. From preschool to senior high school, we have the exact game plan your kids need to ace their classes. And because it's World Cup season, you get a massive 20% off every single book. Don't drop points. Call 059-50-10175 or dash to Pegasus Publishing in Accra, Newtown, right opposite the Total Energy Station. Free delivery within Accra when you call.
Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures.
Hi, now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time, our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat, undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
So, this strategy will lead. Oh no, not again.
Say, relax. The generator will come on now.
The generator is not working.
Why stress yourself when the experts are just one tap away? Introducing Left Power, the smart emergency support app from Left Signature Limited. With Left Power, certified engineers respond fast, anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stories.
Hello, sir. This is Left Signature Limited. The request has been received and our engineers are already on their way. Please relax. We've got you covered.
This is professional. Every Left expert is certified, verified, and can be tracked in real time. Oh, you'll know they're coming before they even arrive. From electrical engineering and solar power systems to data center management, cloud services, smart automation, and software development, Left Signature delivers excellence, fast, reliable, and professional. Left Power.
Your solution is just one tap away.
Available on Play Store.
Upgrade your print game with Konica Minolta, proudly powered by SkySat Technologies. From all-in-one machines that print, scan, and copy to professional systems and heavy-duty production machines, we deliver unmatched performance. Right now, SkySat has an unbeatable offer. 1 entire year of free servicing on all Konica Minolta machines. That's 12 months of expert maintenance for new and existing customers. Visit our new VIP Print Center at Pegasus Place, Airport Residential Area for a live demonstration. Call us on 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. Again, it's 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. SkySat Technologies. Performance that delivers every time.
In a small lab tucked away from the noise of the plant, Amanda Efatoku spends her days running tests most people on site never see. Sizing samples, comparing lab results against plant performance, checking whether the ore coming in is worth processing. It is detailed, technical work, and she's good at it.
We do our daily routines, that's the sizing, we do our lab versus plant bottle roll test, that's comparing the plant performance to the lab, if they are doing well or not. And then we also do a series of test works on the various material that they are bringing from either the run pad or the stockpile. So we do these tests to ascertain the performance, whether the recovery is okay or not, whether the material is quite a pre-grubbing material or not. So we do all these things just to check their performance and then also the recovery as well.
A few hundred meters away, Stephanie Sheila Mensah moves between the field and the planning office. As a maintenance planner, she's the one tracking whether scheduled jobs actually get done and stepping in when they don't.
As a maintenance planner, we schedule jobs. So when jobs are being scheduled, we make sure we come to the field and see what they are doing and give updates. If the work is done or the work is not being done, or if there are challenges in what they are doing, we make sure the problem is solved.
For both women, joining Heath Goldfields came at a turning point for the concession itself. The previous operator had its license revoked, leaving many workers without jobs for 2 years. Since Heath took over, that has changed.
Since Heath has come, they've been able to get jobs to do and get salary being paid, and they are happy with that. So when they are working, they work with passion.
But beyond the jobs, there's something else at play here: visibility. In an industry where women are still a rare sight on site, both Amanda and Stephanie say being one of the few has its own rewards.
It is nice as a lady being the male-dominated company. It's nice. It makes you stand out, and sometimes it also helps you to bring out your skills.
It is a sentiment that comes with a message for other young women considering the field.
They shouldn't limit themselves. They shouldn't listen to what society says about engineering and all that. They should be determined, hardworking, and self-confident. Because anywhere you find yourself, you'll be able to work with a team.
For Amanda, the impact goes beyond the women themselves to the wider community.
So far, work is going on here. The communities too are benefiting from the companies so far. And then the workers here too are quite enjoying the work that they are doing as well.
It is a small but telling shift for a sector long defined by its men. At Heath Goldfields, the lab coats and hard hats are no longer worn by men alone.
Good day, fellow Ghanaians. Dr. Adelaide Arobasiaja Both of our
Step into a universe of play. Explore games for every taste and find your favorite way to play. The excitement starts here. 1x Games on 1xBet. A world of games wherever you are.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number 1, let's bring Baby Girl. Let's bring. He did it for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes. If you want quality, this be where you belong. Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it they carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it they make water they flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address, it's the home you truly earned. Secure your place with just a 10% deposit and choose from beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant, curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym, and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy while retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection, executive pricing, and flexible payment options available. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
Everything has meaning, but not everything is as it seems. For every story told, there are versions of the truth.
We can't afford to look at the numbers that have been presented, and say we are tired. It's the same old issue. No, somebody should be prosecuted.
Every opinion can be debated. Every claim can be challenged. Even the idea of the national interest can and must be interrogated.
This is the date it was. This was the date it was printed from the system.
That is what
what is he talking about?
Because sometimes the real facts are buried deep within layers of interpretation. So we ask the harder questions. We test every claim. We raise the standard of public discourse and place every issue on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first.
We stand beneath you. What are you doing? Clearly,
Newsfile with Samson Ladi and Yanini. On Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
All right, let me welcome you back to the show and for us to get into the matters arising segment. Now, what is the bigger matters arising than the budget review that was presented in Parliament? So that obviously will take much more of the time on the review today. But first, how will the weather be like today? Watch this. Well, so yesterday the finance minister went to Parliament to present the media budget review. We're going to diagnose it, look at the highlights, and unpack the real issue. So today on the table, we really assembled, arguably, look, the people who can really do justice to the issues. We have a trader in here, we have a finance. Okay, so we have 2 finance people, and we have a parliamentarian and a medical person, right? So that they can get into the issues and help us understand. But remember that the AM News Review is sponsored by Syntax Pipes and Pegasus Publishing. Now, Professor Isaac Body is Executive Director of the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
I guess you've dissected a budget review and you're going to help us deal with the real issues.
Fortunately, it came late.
Yeah.
Not exhausted on the entire.
Okay. Well, Prof is, he has another finance and tax person here, Nelson Kojo Kwagbeji. He is financial and tax analyst. Nelson, good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a while. Yeah. You know what? Professor Titus Bayo is a medical professional, yeah? One time General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, and currently he is a member of Parliament for the people of Lambusie and board chair of Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
All good?
Correct. It's a very reassuring morning.
Okay.
Yeah, hearing from our finance minister yesterday, it gives me hope, gives me confidence that we are led by someone who seems to know what he's about and where he's taking us. So I went home very reassured.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have Joseph Paddy, is Vice President, Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. Mr. Paddy, good morning.
Morning, Kojo.
All good?
Very well, very well. So far, so good.
Okay.
Before the finance minister started his budget review, he made mention of the devastating impact of the flood.
Uh-huh.
Which, the business community were also affected badly. Some houses were submerged, and people lost some goods and wares. So some of us are saying it's a self-inflicted issue that we've inflicted on ourselves. So we want to plead with our people. They should stop dumping in the gutters. The refuse in the gutters.
Okay.
Yes. So these are some of the things, and the people should stop building on waterways.
Okay.
So we want to encourage it because we lost so much. We can't quantify what we've lost, but the business community have lost so much.
Okay. All right. Now let's get into the budget review. Let me start from the trader's point of view. What was your highlight of this budget?
Our highlight, we're looking for the market stability.
Okay.
Yes. And the indicators shows positive. We're talking about inflation, the rate at which goods and services was going up.
Actually, the price of goods and services.
The price of goods and services has changed, significantly has changed. We're also looking at interest rate, which has dropped significantly. So it's going to have an impact on it. And government giving space to the private sector to go and borrow. I hear people are saying government is not buying. Government is the highest buyer, but it's not buying. And the government is not spending. But you must spend what you have. So be prudent in their spending. We are okay with it. And one of the things we're looking for is the women's banking, because cost of trading is expensive in the country. So when they mention of the women's banking, we want to see the modalities. We don't want this to be colored like others. I think Maslow came to serve a purpose, but somewhere along the line it was colored. I don't want to mention those colors, but now with the women's banking, it should be open up to the women, because women do better in trading. A chief in Kumasi told me once upon a time that the mother was selling kontomire in the market and took care of them to university, and today is a chief. So if we're able to support these women, and at times some of them go to borrow at the rate of 10% per a month. When they go to borrow at 10%, so are they magicians? So accumulatively, annually, they are paying almost 120% per annum. It's a challenge. So when government came out with this women's banking, we thought it was a good idea, but it's keeping that too long. Let's see the modality how it's going to work out, how the women are going to assess it, and what can be done around it so that they can have a cheaper credit to trade. So these are some of the things we're looking for. So with the budget coming, and they made mention of it, but one of the things we didn't see, and one of the things we were praying not to see, is adding on to another layer of tax But there was assurance that there's no new tax that was going to come. So that gives us this indication looks positive. Now we are not putting pressure on the forex. Okay. Yes, because we've seen some stability for the past 15 months. Okay. Unlike previous days where almost every day you sell, you want to go and chase for a dollar. So this assurance is there. So we pray. We were a little skeptical. We were talking about sustainability. How can this be sustained? But for the past 15, 16 months, we've seen some sustainability somewhere along the line. So this is giving the business community some hope. Okay. Yes.
So when you say Maslow was colored, what do you want to say actually?
It was politically colored. Let's be frank. It was politically colored. Yes. NPP comes to power, you see the people going there. NDC come to power, you see the people going there. Yes. So it was politically colored. So it didn't meet the needed that it was supposed to do. Yes. It was supposed to give some release to the business community for a cheaper loans and facilities. But because it was colored, the workings, it couldn't work well. Yes. So we pray. That's the challenge of this country. Good policy, colored.
Okay.
You understand?
So bad implementation, you say?
I wouldn't say bad implementation. Okay. We spoke about 1D, 1F, for example. Yes. But somewhere along the line, it was colored because it's perceived to be an NPP product. Okay. So the implementation becomes a challenge. Yes. And now we've come to another one. What's the name? This current one we have in 24-hour economy. You know, it's a good idea. Very good idea because most countries practice it. But how are you going to do it? These are some of the things we'll be looking for. Let's take all the colors out of it and let's talk as a Ghanaian.
Green, the blue. Okay.
Is that
the green, the blue colors? Okay. Okay, let me come to Vincent. Vincent, what was Nelson Kwagbeji?
Yes.
Nelson, so what was your standout from the budget?
I will first of all wants to commend the finance minister because there is a concept in finance called efficient market hypothesis. And that concept explains how quickly market assimilates and incorporates information. And that affects, prices that are listed on the stock exchange and market in general. And so from the way the vice president of Govt spoke, it means that market has favorably received the information that was presented yesterday.
Okay.
My biggest take yesterday has to do with the government fiscal operations because we have had a problem in the past that has to do with domestic revenue mobilization. And if you are not able to mobilize enough revenue domestically and your economy is not export-oriented, you are going to have a problem in terms of debt because all the policies and programs that you have in the budget must be financed. And once you are not able to raise domestic revenue, then you'll be compelled to go and borrow. If you look at Appendix 2A of the budget, total program revenue for first and second quarter, 126 billion Ghana cedis. But we've been able to achieve 124 billion Ghana cedis, which clearly tells you that in terms of revenue operations, we are not doing bad at all. It also means that there is a lot more to be done in terms of our capacity and ability to rake in the needed revenue to support, our annual budget. And so in terms of revenue mobilization, I think we've done well, even though there is more room for, improvement. Then also he talked about the external sector, that our total export earning amounted to about $18 billion, dollars, out of which we spent about $8 billion in terms of our, imports. And that gives us a trade surplus of around $8-9 billion, dollars. And that is also significant. The reason being that if you have a debt to GDP ratio that is high, but your economy is not export oriented, then you face the problem of volatility of your currency. This is because if any time you want to service your debt, it means you have to rely heavily on your domestic currency, convert them to foreign currency to service your debt. And so I think the external sector too, we are doing very well. Then also, when you come to the financial sector, the financial sector indicators, has also improved significantly. I am also very happy that he made mention of certain, CBG, ADB, and the rest that were fully capitalized. He also talked about giving about 5 billion Ghana cedis to Bank of Ghana. At the last year, 2025, we were all here discussing the Bank of Ghana, losses. And so they have also allocated about 5 billion Ghana cedis for Bank of Ghana's recapitalization. And so I've always been saying the banking sector is the engine of growth. And so when you have a banking sector that is liquid, where the assets are of quality, capital adequacy ratio very high, non-performing loans, going down, then it means that you have a solid banking sector that can actually support, the growth and development of the economy. And so, as a way of preliminary comment, I would say the finance minister has done very well. Okay. Once we go into the details, we'll break down the numbers. Okay. We'll compare and contrast, and then we can draw the conclusion.
Okay. All right. Prof. Bio.
Yeah, let me say good morning to my colleagues and to our viewers. As I said, for me, my preliminary comments are that yesterday, the Honorable Dr. Akosua-Addo came across as someone who knows exactly what he's about. Okay. His delivery was with a lot of confidence, and it was backed by data. And the summary of what I saw was somebody who has demonstrated in terms of the indicators that he had fixed the problems he came to inherit, the problem that this government inherited. And he has put in prudent spending to ensure that we don't go back there. So you notice that there are accusations he's not spending, but he's demonstrated that he's actually spending, but where it matters most. And demonstrated a lot of cost-cutting measures. For instance, he mentioned when they intend to set up a 1,200 megawatt power plant, they went directly to the company, that is GE, and that alone is saving the country about 35 to 45%, rather than going through middlemen where other people go and do financial arrangement and all of that and then take some money off us. So you could see some prudence and efficiency in everything that he's doing. But what was even more assuring is that not only has he fixed the past problems and maintaining holding the crystal ball with both hands so that it doesn't fall, but also he is looking at the future very, very carefully. So you see deliberate plans to ensure that we are not found wanting. The sinking fund is created, money is being put in there, projected to have about 30 billion Ghana cedis to make sure that we can make true our commitments. You see that energy, for instance, we are looking at a gas to power that is going to save us 75% on energy production, which is significant. In the long term, this is going to lead to reduction in energy cost to the end user. You could see someone that is already, a government that is already depositing money towards a project that is even yet to start, the Accra-Kumasi Expressway. And he demonstrated that already put about 1.7 billion somewhere towards that, and a special account at the Bank of Ghana. Was very cool. And I mean, if you contrast this with our previous experiences across governments, we make pronouncements, we start when there is no deliberate planning of funding for it, and that has resulted in some of the problems that we have encountered as a country. He also talks about widespread revisions in the customs processes to ensure that adequate revenue is raked in. That is something that also gave me a lot of confidence that, look, this man has not only brought stability to the economy, but he's planning for the future. Future generations, children unborn should be happy that unlike previous situations where people live as debts and ask us to clap for them, you have a finance minister that is assuring you that debts that have accrued, he's planning on servicing them, and he's leaving money behind to make sure that you are not in trouble. Another thing he talked about in planning for the future that again gave me a lot of comfort is the new Cocoa Act that he plans to bring to Parliament. And he's already assuring our cocoa farmers that this act will ensure that they get close to 70% of their price that is purchased. And he thinks there must be an overhaul, complete overhaul of the sector with legislation, which is the right way to go. And to conclude, the Women's Development Bank, again, the reassurance I have is that he has given us his firm word that it will be operational by end 2026. I really look forward to that. And I'll support Guta's position that we should depoliticize this. And you see, some of our real interventions that will affect this nation must be depoliticized. And that's why when our colleagues and friends on the other side of the divide are pushing us to repeat the same thing, if we do that, then we have not brought any resets. You see, you take 24-hour economy and people are like, what has happened so far? We need to see if you are bringing something that will bring a structural change, systemic change, it must bid its time and be integrated properly. Women's Development Bank should not come as a bank that will be for only NDC women organizers or NDC sympathizers. If it is a bank, you must go to the right channel. I mean, if we had wanted to just create some propaganda thing, the easiest way is that government would have just sent some money out to everyday street, take 5 million, loan out to the people through some credit union or through some post bank. There's post office in almost every district here. That's an easier route, but that will fizzle out with the government. So they are going through the process. They have incorporated a bank. They've gotten the banking license from Bank of Ghana. They have to set up structures and make sure that it has come to serve the people of Ghana. And if that is it, we should be patient and allow it to mature. And it should be operationalized such that our ordinary market women who do not need huge loans, someone needs just 1,000 to do her cocoa business in Pina Market, in my constituency. Someone needs just 2,000 to do something in Hamili. Somebody is just 500 in some more. Such women do not have to go to a conventional bank that they'll struggle, but the bank must be properly structured to stand the test of time. And I'm hoping that all these weights will produce a bank that is fit for purpose. Okay. The final one, which I thought he would have mentioned that it didn't come up, is I also heard, I'm not a finance person, but as I was listening, I was looking at things of interest to me. One of them I heard is that they are removing some excise duty on locally manufactured beverages. And if that is true, that is going to increase local production, reduce the cost, and help us to consume things that are made locally compared to those that are made from outside. And I think we should encourage this to change the structure of the economy that we are all praying for. But in summary, I left yesterday very satisfied that His Excellency the President did not make a mistake in appointing this man as our finance minister, and that he has also surrounded himself with people who understand the industry, and he has demonstrated it to the nation and beyond that he has repositioned Ghana well. Rolf.
Yeah, Kojo, good morning.
Good morning. Your highlight.
US and my colleagues as well. Economic data look impressive, but the gap between the economic data and the lived realities difficult to be closed. Ghana has undoubtedly made significant progress in stabilizing the economy. One, inflation drops, interest rates declined, exchange rate improved, public debt, yes. And then in terms of reserves, we have seen some gains. So in total, we can say that, yes, they all deserve some recognition, which we must give to this administration. We might have issues in terms of how these variables are arrived at. For instance, the public debt I talked about, we have rebased the economy. So your denominator and the denominator will have issues. We will talk about those ones. But at least it's important to be fair that we can't critique every day where they think they need to score, get a mass. Let's give it to the administration. Right. So on economic data, yes, but the lived experience, there's a gap. I had expectations before the budget, and it's normal for everyone to have expectations. Yeah. So when the budget is read, you now can go back and check whether those expectations were met. One expectation that I had as an individual, I asked a simple question: does Ghana have that fiscal space? So going to the budget, I was expecting the minister to mention or to let us know. If you talk about that, we are not focusing on how much we have in an account as a country, but the ability of the government to finance development, ability of the government to invest in infrastructure, support social programs, and also respond to economic crisis without destabilizing, one, your economic stability or threatening your debt stability. I was looking at ways in the budget. Well, was it met? I would say no. It's issue of stability, and I was happy. I met this target was met. I didn't hear anything about stability issues because we have crossed that mark already. So I was looking for growth. So I was looking at a situation where the minister would tell us the growth trajectory or the path. How much do we need to fund that growth? There was something about, which I have the budget here, what was actually spent in 2020, half year of 2026. How much did we spend? I was saying this because before the budget, we had two ministers who had not a tough war, but the Minister of Finance claimed, I have given Minister of Agri 1.6 billion or so.
Is it 1.5 billion?
At the 1.5. And the minister says, no, I had a budget of 900 plus, but I was given, I think, 450. So I was going to the budget. I was expecting that clarification. That's why I said I wanted to see how much. The arrears, they uncovered, in 2025, uncovered about 65 billion or so.
So yesterday was, the information was, I think it was 1.1 billion that has been released so far to the ministry.
Yeah, so another 500 had been released to a flagship program of the ministry. So it totals to the same thing.
Well, so I saw I saw a PRO today, a minister asking that how did 1.5 draw down to 1.1 billion? So I don't know how they do it, whether the Ministry of Agri is aware that the 500 we've issued or released is part of your...
fine, maybe, but it is. So,
Kojo, I'm sure you had it my time because you've taken some. So I was looking at that. It was clarified, we are yet to see. Then the issue about the unpaid bills arrears, that they've paid 13 billion. I was trying to find out how much had also been paid after the 13 billion. Let's look at the document itself. And I said I've gone through about 60% of the reading because it came very late. There were a few things that I found in the TAB budget, the document itself. Earlier on, the statement by the minister, I think page 82, it states that inflation passed 50% before this administration took over office. Maybe if they have time, they can go back again and look at that wording, because it was 23%, not 50, 23.8, not 50. But in the document, they stated before that they took over, it passed 50.
No, so Prof, let me just guide you a little bit on that. I didn't think, I mean, the wording was not that he inherited an inflation of 50%, but it had gone past 50% before we took over. What it meant is that the reign of that administration that we took over from, in that space, that longitudinal data, it had gone past 50. But it was on a decline to about 23 at the time we took over.
So I think his question is, why don't you rather limit yourself to the 23 that you inherited?
It's a choice of words.
By communication, it has an impact.
You must contrast. You must contrast well.
So I should look at that because it's a document.
Yeah, I get you.
Have opportunity to read that. Then they said ECOWAS convergence criteria, they had met all the threshold. It's not true. There was one they didn't meet.
Okay.
Which is the inflation target. So you check those.
The inflation?
Yes.
Okay.
So the media budget only will tell you, evaluate implementation of an approved budget. That's all the media budget would do for you. But in the budget, and I was happy when my good friend said the colors that we saw. In fact, some of the speeches, I mean, statements were more than the fiscal review. Because the administration must focus on budget implementations issue, expenditure executions, and all that. But check the entire document. And IRPP would did just a quantitative assessment of the entire speech. And that should tell you, the entire document had about 99 pages. Check page 5. Which is paragraph 18, inherited. This somewhat worse, and Prof said we should not politicize everything.
Yeah.
It's a platform to advance your statement and execution plans. Stated, inherited an economy on its knees, page 18.
Page 18, eh?
That's paragraph 18, and then page 5.
Okay.
The same page 5, reckless spending, excessive and bench borrowing. In page 5, the same, paragraph 19. Lack of accountability, economic collapse. Then page 8 to 9, never again. I saw those words for me. And if you do the quantitative assessment of this whole budget, it tells you almost about 5 to 10 pages devoted to inherited crisis and political narratives. Largely devoted to previous administration, almost 18 to 45 paragraphs devoted into. So the substantive issues should have been given more time for such discussions.
Okay.
Again, no supplementary budget submitted. No supplementary. And I was happy when the minister said, no supplementary budget submitted. And it's a fact. He even stated it there. Today, I am not here to seek supplementary estimate. Yet, in the same budget, we have 5 billion for Ghana's related National Reserve accumulation policy. We have flood interventions, Bank of Ghana recapitalization introduced.
But I'm told these are not new. They are not asking. They are only going to take from what they have.
So is it a revision? No, is it a revision?
You tell me. You understand.
You understand the terms.
Is it a revision? If you have come in to the floor, the revised budget, because you want to do some cutting from other places too, let me know. Okay, something on
the flood, the job we've done on the budget, realized that, they went to Parliament to seek for some 350 million.
Yes.
That they got from some contingency vote.
Yes.
They then added some 226 million to it as well. Further to it was reallocated within the Ministry of Works.
Yes.
So total flood response, 576 million cedis.
Yes.
But that is from within, not additional funds. So that's what they are to do.
I was happy he said no additional budget for 2026. It's fine. But some of these things, you need to let people know your intention before coming to the floor. There was something about this fiscal discipline issue that we've been championing all this while. And I've had issues in terms of how we now make those things realities. It is about three things. You increase your revenue. You reduce your expenditure. You contain your debt management. Check through the budget. In terms of revenue targets, yes, we have seen about 224 billion or so.
Yeah.
Did we meet the targets? No. Expenditure.
The target for half year?
Yeah, half year.
What was it?
No. Government, I'll come back to that, and then we'll look at expenditure. For expenditure portion, there's a celebration that yes, we've cut down expenditures. Where did those expenditures go? Did we cut the essential investment expenditures? Expenditure target was 9.9% of GDP. Actual 8.0. You have reduced your expenditure.
Because we're not able to meet we're not meeting the revenue. Okay, there's a shortfall in revenue generation, right? Mobilization.
Yes, so
and so of course, expenditure was also
we then need to find out.
So I think the shortfall is just 0.1% of GDP.
Shortfall is very little.
But once you're not getting exactly what you budgeted for, you cannot also then spend exactly how you wanted to spend.
You will not.
Also.
Yes. So you'll be forced to cut.
Could it also be that? Could you also, because if you check the expenditure side,
we'll give you more time today.
No, Prof, we'll give you time.
Because if you check the expenditure side,
you are raising very valid things that is getting all of us to talk. So you have more time.
Compensation for employees, the budgeted was 45.3 billion, but they ended up doing 42.8 billion. It could also mean that they kind of trying to clean the payroll. That could also be, that they are trying to clean the payroll, to take ghost names from the payroll. That actually, so we need to take the expenditure one by one to see what could have necessitated the cut.
But again,
because if you look at interest payment, interest payment was supposed to be 24 billion. But they ended up doing 20.3 billion.
So there's some 4 billion that they have
saved from there.
So
okay.
But what I was going to say
is it, if it's interest payment, is it savings or probably a renegotiation that hold? Because once it's interest payment, it has to go.
The currency exchange will play a role in that.
Yeah, so is giving, so that you can make it.
Okay, and the $700 million that they paid recently ahead of schedule will also be some interest saving mechanism that is in there. You get it.
But
and then clearly
there's a 4 billion difference there.
Yeah. So we need to take the expenditure one by one.
What I was saying
to do anyway, revenue one by one, we see where the shortfalls are. Expenditure one by one, we see where the shortfalls are. Then we can draw a conclusion.
But I was just cautioning on the expenditure that coming from government and sitting on some government boards and looking at how things are going, we may have delayed expenditure. I don't know if there's a term like that in your financial words. Yeah. But what it means, you see, there have been introduction of new processes ensuring discipline. For instance, the commitment authorization, the value for money. So all this means that things that you even intended to procure early part of this year, by the time you complete these processes, those procurement may come later in the year. I don't know if what I'm saying. So for instance, a ministry may want to spend, say 100 million. It is not that they will still not spend 100 million, but because they need to get commitment authorization, they need to get value for money, all of which have begun this year, these expenditures may still come, but may come at a later part of the year. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right.
We are back to
Prof. Yes.
This was presented to us as a fiscal discipline. 9.9 against 8 was presented as fiscal discipline.
Is that not it?
No. Lower expenditure do not always mean that if those essential investments are delayed. No, cannot be automatically. Because just as he said, delayed projects contributed. So when you delay your project, you will not spend. When you have a delayed payment, he alluded to that, my good friend, it can also cause that. And when we have postponed capital spending, it also affects. Then on revenue target, we mix the target, the period, the half year. We had non-oil revenue, 6.5 as a target. We were close in meeting that target, so we didn't meet that target. Then domestic revenue, 7.8%. We had 7.7. We didn't meet that target. Total revenue, so 7.9 against 7.8. So every major target actually fell. So how do you take care of your expenditures? It will be difficult, naturally. What we are saying that we all live in one economy. It's our hope and it's our prayer that measures put in place by this administration will help. I didn't hear more issues on discussions on employment. And Nelson was very honest. He said, if we have economy that do not export, we are not getting more revenue from export. Definitely, you have issues with your exchange rate and all that. So it's a fact. But the economy we are discussing, we celebrate GDP growth. We are celebrating inflation. We are celebrating debt. We are celebrating reserve. Fine. How many jobs have all these created for our youth?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's a good question to us, and it's a good question. It's a good note to end there. But Nelson, take me to the revenues, yeah? And let's do something here. If you look at it, they said 2026 budget revenue 268 billion. Is that it?
Exactly.
Okay. Then it says quarter one, quarter two, we are doing what? Do we take the 126 or 124?
Okay, so the quarter one, quarter two, the program is the budgeted, which is 126 billion. But they ended up doing 124 billion.
So there's some 2 billion deficit there.
Nominal terms, yes. But you must also look at it from percentage of GDP. Because the program percentage of GDP is 7.9, but the actual is 7.8, which means that we just have about 0.1% shortage. Now the question is, which of the tax handles are not doing very well? Now when you go to personal income tax, we programmed 16 billion, we ended up doing 15 billion. If you look at company taxes, we programmed 23 billion, but we outperformed the budget by 27 point, almost 28 billion. When you look at company taxes, we programmed oil, we programmed 3.7 billion, but we ended up doing 2.3 billion, which to me is reasonable because production volumes have actually reduced. And so once you are not producing more, what it technically means is that your, petroleum revenue will also drop. Yeah. So that is, normal. Then also other direct taxes, we also programmed to do 9 billion, but we ended up doing 11 billion. So, taxes on domestic goods and services, 41, but we ended up doing 34. So clearly, in terms of direct taxes, the only place that we couldn't meet our target is personal income tax. Now, when it is personal income tax, it also means that that is PAY.
But the domestic goods and services you're looking at, 41 and you're doing 34. That's
I think that is the sum. The sum. Yes. So what I'm basically saying is that for the
sum is the total. The sum and that should be the interest.
Exactly.
If you want to do the breakdown, that's where you go into finding out what is not doing well.
Yes.
But if you're looking at the total.
Exactly. So this granular analysis actually helps us to identify which areas are not doing well, then we can focus more on them. Now, the challenge that we have had is that our economy is largely informal because the people who are having the restaurant, they don't even pay levies to the district assemblies, not even talking about central government. So going forward, what we need to do is how do we rake in those people to understand the implication of, tax revenue to government? Because if we continue this way, we end up missing our tax revenue target, then it will certainly affect the bottom line, which is then the expenditure. Now, when you come to the expenditure side, we did mention of compensation, 45 against 40.
But let's stay on the revenue, the taxes, because earlier you mentioned that there was no introduction of any tax. We didn't hear that.
No introduction of new taxes.
But the minister also mentioned that there is a removal of exemption on bunkering. On bunkering.
Okay, so those are the details that we have to
check it.
We have to check.
But okay, so help me. Once they say a removal of exemption on bunkering, doesn't it mean that
so it means that more revenue will come in?
Okay.
And don't forget that these figures are also provisional actual. Okay, so give or take, we may have some discrepancies, few percentage points here and there. But globally, if you look at it globally, if you look at international trade taxes, import duties, we programmed 14.9 billion. We ended up doing 13.6 billion, which is also not really bad. Okay. And then when you look at indirect taxes, let's take them one by one. Excise duty, we wanted to do 5.4 billion. We ended up doing about 3.1 billion. Value added tax, 25, that was programmed. We ended up doing 23 billion. National health insurance levy, 4 billion program, 3 billion achieved. Get fund and the rest. But then if you look at the VAT, you know, the VAT, the threshold was moved from about 200,000 to 750,000 in order to lessen the impact of SMEs. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the revision that was done to the VAT at bringing it from 21.9% to about 20% has impacted on this 23 billion that we have achieved.
All right.
But finally, just I think the problem with tax revenue mobilization is compliance. Okay, compliance. And so if businesses are not complying to honor their tax-paying obligations, then there'll be a problem. So we need to enforce compliance, we need to enforce education, and we need to enforce sensitization so that people can voluntarily come out to honor their tax obligations.
All right. Earlier, Prof, you mentioned that government isn't, it is not true that government isn't spending.
Yes.
But government is spending in what matters most.
Yes.
So who defines that what matters most?
Okay.
And which areas are they spending that some Ghanaians feel that we are not seeing the expenditure?
So, you see, we must be careful the kind of nation we are building.
Okay.
And sometimes bad precedents is set, and we see that to be the norm. People expect money to be available. People expect Prof was questioning the use of words like reckless and all of that. The little information I have in this current administration, indeed, some of the expenditure in the past, you will struggle to find another word than reckless to give to it. You know, what led to the things like commitment authorization was that you could sit down as a minister and agencies under you are doing procurement and you have no clue. Yesterday, the finance minister mentioned it, that even state-owned enterprises now are required to get commitment authorization. Previously, they could go into contracts, procurement, buy whatever they wanted, and commit government to it. Very soon, they are not able to pay, but they are state-owned, so it falls due and becomes a liability on government, and it adds to government debt. These are some of the problems we inherited that we had to bring in the fiscal discipline. And so when we celebrate it as fiscal discipline, I think it truly, in essence, that is what it is, because you have to control things. Now, if you look at, and every government comes in with its flagship programs. Sadly so, I wish that all these programs were aligned to a long-term development agenda, because it's very difficult for anybody to turn around a country in 4 years. So the National Development Planning Commission must come out with that long-term development agenda and force parties to make sure that their manifesto align.
Okay.
But this current government, we are spending on the things that we promised the people of Ghana. And yesterday, he enumerated them. And I can open and just run through a few for you. And that was when we were using the cliche, has been paid. Because the allowances...
So you were part of those who were
Oh, I did, and I did it so joyfully. You know, I mean, when you have accusations that you are not doing it, and you actually are doing it, I think you have to find a way of letting people know that you have done it. They accuse us of not paying so many things, which the minister has paid, and he had to just use the opportunity to let people know that he has paid them. Okay. I'll just open it up and show you. For instance, all our allowances due the teachers, nursing trainees, all have been paid. And today, as we speak, no one can come up and accuse the ministry of not being paid. So let me mention a few of them. Free secondary education to take the burden of families. 1.8 billion.
So free senior high school?
Yes, has been paid. The difference between this and the previous free is very difficult, Prof, sometimes not to compare. I honestly wish not to be doing the comparison so that it is not giving a political twist. But if you look at the quality of feeding that our children were having in secondary school, I always cite my personal example where the secondary school in my district capital, the people were starving. I met a student who packed his things that he was going home. That he didn't go to school to die of hunger. And a teacher drew my attention to it. And I had to go and donate bags of rice, oil, canned fish, and all of that for them. Because releases were not going, caterers were always demonstrating, and therefore the students were not being fed. And we were having free SHS, which in essence is good, because if we don't educate the population, really we are going nowhere. So as an education, I'll never condemn education. But if you want to have free secondary education, you must budget for it, plan for it, and put money.
So you have paid
we paid that one. Road maintenance. We set up a road maintenance fund. We have paid 1.7 billion to that fund to be able to maintain our roads. And if you go, people are doing reshaping in the villages. In my constituency, you will see roads that have been awarded.
I've seen nothing like that in Hunter West, though.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Then check in other places. I have seen reshaping.
I'll check on where I know that.
I don't know.
I went to Wa last week and they were complaining badly, bitterly.
Yes, the roads are a problem. And His Excellency didn't mean swear when he said that the whole country is going to be a construction zone. Because if you take from the big push roads, for instance, contractors are on site, but not as quickly as we would want. I am not happy. Hamley Tumu Road, I'm not happy. The contractor has begun from the Tumu edge coming slowly. I wish he was from Hamley going. We haven't felt it. There's one passing through Laura, through Kani to Hang. That one too, I've not even seen the contractor on site. But if you take the Wenchi to Sola, the contractor is on site, is working on the culverts and those things by the side.
Yeah, the size.
Apparently, according to the contractors, that and the base and all of that is the most difficult part of the construction. When it gets to adding the asphalting, it's quick and they can do that in 3 months. But we are just hope that they can quicken the pace. But this road maintenance fund has been paid, and this is.
Should we celebrate paying or seeing the work on the ground?
So the time lag is what I expect the economists to tell me. As a scientist, as a medical person, I can tell you that if I give you these tablets for a hip pain or headache, in 30 minutes, you should have pain relief. Or in an hour, you should expect pain relief. I don't have that capacity to be able to tell that if I see a 5% drop in inflation, or a 5% drop in interest rate, or this increase in this indicator, how long does that take for me to see it translate into more jobs? I don't know. I wish someone could come out with a model to tell me that if the indicators stay this way, by this number of months, if we don't see this in our packet, then you have failed. And I wish that the economists will give us that answer. I don't have it. I'm celebrating the indicators. I've seen what we have paid, but I want to see the lived, what Prof called the lived experiences. Because that is really where we need to get to. I'm counting on hope that this restoration will eventually lead to improved lift experiences. And let me just mention, before Prof will come in, a few of the paid things that excited me yesterday.
I celebrate.
Yes. I mean, Youth Employment Agency, 459 million cedis paid. And I can give you clear experiences of this. Before I came back in my district, I handed over equipment to master craftsmen, industrial sewing machines and things, and each of these master craftsmen are training at least 5 apprentices.
Okay.
And that is job being created for these people. So if you tell them that nothing has happened there, they won't understand. Mining one, I don't know much about it, but 458 million paid to the Mineral Development Fund to keep the lights on across the country. 7.1 billion to the energy sector to stabilize the power. Have you seen some improvement? Yes. If people will tell me that they've not seen stability in power, that one I'll beg to differ. We've all seen the dark parts where we all struggled, and when it was there, we didn't deny it. Debt, legacy debt payment, 5.3 billion. Free compulsory basic education, capitation to the schools. When we took over, one of my school heads was telling me even paper to do work in the school they didn't have. Yes, because capitation wasn't coming. They only get exam fee a few times, something to help with their exam. Now 76 billion has been paid. So at least they can do little things in the school.
Oh, capitation there, I know it was going on.
No, they were in arrears. LEAP, 485 billion. And I wanted to read this part in support to give Prof was saying that if the essential areas are being cut in expenditure, just to prove that these critical areas, social safety net programs have not been cut. LEAP is being paid. LEAP is one of the measures of how the country thinks about its most vulnerable.
But LEAP has never been in arrears.
But it is also not in arrears now, which means that we are paying.
Okay.
Right? So if someone says we are not spending, that is not fair.
Okay.
The Ghana School Feeding Program, 877 million. When was the last time we saw caterers demonstrating that they have not been paid for school feeding?
If I give you everything,
last one. Last one. We are waiting for BEC results. My son wrote BEC. We are waiting for their results, right?
Paid, eh?
At least WAEC can confirm that
you have paid.
BEC has been paid. So if there's a delay, it's not because they haven't been paid, but there's been an instance where WAEC was withholding results because they have not been paid.
As for this one, Prof, I'm sure you won't disagree. Before I let you, let me bring
I think what we saw yesterday was one of the challenges we're having is about, we're talking about the revenue.
Yes.
Yes. We also had that challenge. Was most time people complain about the informal sector.
Yes.
It's about 80% are informal sector. Yeah. But when you are doing a policy or a product, you don't do it one fit all.
Yeah.
Yes, as informal as the economy is, if you are doing a tax regime, you must tailor a product that will suit that.
Yeah.
Yes. You see, the 20% VAT that we're experiencing now are the same 30% of people who are paying already. So, you know, the minister was asking that now people should be Ghanaian when you go take VAT receipt. VAT receipt. But when you come to the market space, Kojo is registered with VAT. Prof is not registered with VAT. Where will you buy from?
You go to the one who does
the one that is not registered VAT. Yeah. You see, so when Govt came out and said, can you make the VAT regime simplified for the business community? That's why we had this program long ago with the late Banredu. He said, the informal sector are not giving something to government. What can we do? He said, can we get some simplified VAT regime? And that's when he brought the 3%.
Okay.
And then everybody was on board. Now, when they move it to the modified taxation now, even registration is a challenge. Registration is a challenge. So still, the few who are in the net are the same people who are struggling. The 70% people who are outside the net are free. So what can we do? Now, I also saw in the budget that the finance minister is trying to close some loopholes, some leakages.
Yeah, sure.
He spoke about the bonded warehousing, where a lot of leakages are coming from.
True.
Yes. So he spoke about that. And he also spoke
so those of you in the market, you are traders. How is the economy looking like for you? Are you experiencing people coming to buy from you, feeling that you're also benefiting from the economy, or what exactly is your story?
Yeah, see, it depends on the purchasing power of the people.
Okay.
Yes. Now, we have some respite somewhere, because once upon a time, you're looking for $10,000. You have to cover over 170,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and now you're looking for $10,000. Just about 110,000 Ghana cedis can give you that 100,000. So there's some savings there. So that amount can be recapitalized, put into your business as a capital. So it's a relief for the business community. But like we all complain, they say government is not spending. So there's no purchasing power in the pockets of the people. So this is where the business community are complaining that people are not really patronizing their goods. Yes, but so far, so it's better to have a stable economy. That's why we have a stable market where inflation, where today you wake up, you can't even do budgeting. Today the goods is 2 cedis, the next moment is 15 cedis. The next day, the instability. So Kojo will come and do window shopping today, and then okay, maybe tomorrow I'll come. Now it's 5 cedis, tomorrow I'll come. Tomorrow you go, the dollar moved to 15, then you come to me and say, now, so it got to a point where we're even selling our goods in dollar terms. Because of uncertainty, it's because of the instability, because you don't know what the dollar will tell you tomorrow morning. Yes, so these are some of the challenges we have. But we were saying that, what can we do to bring the 70% of the people who are outside the tax net into the tax net? Say, when they introduced modified taxation, to me, it's not really working. Okay. It's not being registered. People are not registered. It's a challenge. Feedback. You see, so and one of our difficulties is that the tax rate of this country is high.
Okay.
So what can't we look at our tax rate? Because look at a VAT component. VAT is about 20% in Ghana. Go to Nigeria, it's about 7%. Our neighboring countries, our VAT regime. So now people don't even want to patronize our port. They want to go to other ports to go. Because cumulatively, duty rate is about 55%. So just imagine you import a goods worth about 100,000. You are paying 55,000 as a duty component, 55%, which that's a lot. So that's why we propose to government that why can't we rationalize the port duty at the port for recently when they brought the publican AI, you know why we're crying? Because it was limited to, some of them went to about 300%. A goods that you were claiming for 120,000 was moved to about 400,000. So we're asking the publican.
I think the defense I heard was that then maybe earlier you were not paying fair prices at the port.
But the gap was too wide. How could it be that you're supposed to pay 500 and you are paying 100? It's not possible. But so when they did the analysis, the GRA came back that the differential was just about 40%. So if it was 40%, it shouldn't go as much as that high. Now I think it has dropped at about 15%. Okay. So when they introduced this release for the public, that we can come for appeal, and some of the appeal went through. So something that we were paying like 120,000 now has moved to about 150,000. So that's genuinely where it's supposed to be. So, but the issue is we've been complaining. There are people outside the tax net. What can we do to bring them in? Okay. You see, so at every point in time when government introduces new tax, it's the same people who are paying, the same 30% people who are paying. So these are the challenges we are facing as a country, as a nation. What can we see? You come to my space where we are, maybe the spare parts industry. Kwesi is registered, Amma is registered. Obviously, you go to so Govt came out with a proposal. Can we still go back to the flat rate, simplify it for them? If even you are going to move it from 3% to 4% or 5% and make it flat for the informal sector. For the informal sector. So the formalized one can hang on the 20%. So what can we do that we can get to, and so if even your class 1 people child, so give me 5% of 100 cedis. This month I sold 100 cedis. 5% of 100 cedis. It's so simplified. Yeah. It can be easy. So we're looking for a tax regime that is simplified, that is business friendly, that can be worked with. These are some of the things we need to do. So we have been making this proposal. See, seriously, when they increase the threshold and they move all the business community to 20%, I can see most of them have dropped. And then seriously, government is losing revenue in that vein. So it's worrying that, and I don't want a case where people always complain that the informal sector don't pay tax, they don't pay tax. Not that they don't want to pay tax, but make it simplified for them.
I think his points buttresses his submission earlier, that the issue of the revenue and tax is compliance.
Yes.
I would plead with Govt to engage the finance ministry now, because we are working on the next budget, isn't it? The 2027 budget is in the offing. So that if there's any tax modifications, they can get a simplified thing rather than heaping the burden on few people. Like few people are being taxed so much while the rest are free.
Okay, all right, Prof.
Kojo, I will slip and rehash the question you asked. We are celebrating a reduction in expenditure, a budget of 9.9 against an actual of 8.
Yeah.
He asked a very interesting question. Where can we see all this investment, all the expenditure? Where did they go? The last summary of an economic financial data in July will tell you the CAPEX proportion, 0.1% to your GDP was spent on capital CAPEX as an administration. So ask a simple question. Where did all these funds, the investment, go? Because these are the ones that will give you the tangible results, your roads, your infrastructure. It's good that you pay your salary, your wages, your staff, and all that. Those things are the ones the government, they normally raise the domestic financing, the borrowing through the banks. The banks are suffering because that's where the government is taking more money to finance their day-to-day, expenses. I am worried about the revenue target that we could not achieve. The reason being that we have large future debts maturing.
The minister mentioned.
What the minister mentioned.
But he says the funds to pay them are already there.
No, I'm saying that we have 58 billion to pay in 2027. We have 53 billion paying 2025. 2028.
That's a true.
So in total, we have a 111.
That's 111. He called it the true agenda.
Although we have a sinking fund. But then, if we underperform in the months or the weeks ahead of us, we will struggle as a country
to pay that.
By now, we would have been cruising, exceeding expectations on the revenue stream. So we'll be at home. Because we are talking about informal. And he said, not that they don't want to pay. If you simplify, they'll pay. I was on another platform and I said, GRA needs to be retooled. And I've said it several times. They need to be retooled. All businesses are not opening their shops. They are not renting shops anymore.
No, online.
They're all moving online, on our phones. And I said it several times. Can they show us the architecture they have to tax all these individuals? I have not seen it. So it's time for us to have a better conversation. That all these businesses that are moving to that space, how can we get the maximum benefit in terms of tax? Because one, if we underperform in the month and then the quarters ahead of us, we are likely going to struggle. That's where the development project will not be undertaken. So, Kojo, we have an issue as a country, but then all of us, when we put our heads together, we can solve the problems we have.
Kojo, you see,
in fact, I bought something online, not even in Ghana, but I paid tax on it.
Yeah,
I bought it from abroad. On the eBay.
Yeah.
You see, so but in Ghana, most shops in Ghana now are moving to the online. What can you do to get them? And they are having a holiday-free tax. They don't pay any to government. So what can we do? What is GRA, like you're saying? What does GRA do to rope all these people? Because there's a huge business going on in the cloud. It's huge business.
I think
what is that? reckless spending. There was on the 20th, there was a newspaper headline on graphic that Assembly, the MMDCs used 22 billion to collect.
Yes.
A lesser amount.
So
that's where the reckless spending is coming.
What time period?
2025.
Yeah, I think it's from the Auditor General's report. They used 22.5 million to collect 10.5.
That's the reckless.
So
you see, one of the.
I'm interested in knowing the time period of the reports.
It's 2025.
2025.
Oh, 2025 Auditor General's report. Yeah, because I saw some like that before, and in some of the districts, and I was like, why do you employ revenue collectors who collect nothing? The normal thing should have been that they should be paid a commission on what they are collecting.
Okay, Vincent. So for you, you're saying, why do I keep saying that? It's Vincent
Kwagwenu.
You have to see him. But Nelson, so you're saying that this budget is one that inspires hope in the ordinary Ghanaian who has been complaining that, especially those who have been doing, who are selling. Because I hear a lot of them say people are not buying. You're saying this budget is something that inspires hope in these people.
All right, so I have been saying that we need to measure the confidence within the economy. And that confidence can be looked at 3 levels. Business confidence, investor confidence, and consumer confidence.
Okay.
Now, one of the key indicators that we use to measure consumer confidence is their purchasing power.
Yes.
And so if you've been able to move inflation from 23.8% to 5.4% and currently at 5.3%, it means that with the same level of salary, you have enhanced the purchasing power of the consumer. And by implication, we expect them to actually, spend more in the economy. And
but that also does not mean that prices have reduced.
Well,
it only means that the rate at which the price is
exactly.
But
you see,
the price is more predictable.
Exactly. But is it accurate for us to argue that on the same level of salary, I need to be able to buy more?
Well, we can't draw that generic conclusion. But relatively, you realize that prices at the pump, but for the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, was relatively stable, if you recall. Again, at the end of December, prices were generally stable in the market. I actually bought some fuel stuff, and I realized that even the 5 kg of rice, the price was a bit down. So
it has dropped, yes.
Exactly.
So as for that.
But you are a dealer.
I want to get the rice with he knows why the thing is happening.
So we can base on that and say yes. I actually wanted to talk about the translation effect. Yes, we are talking about macro.
That's what Prof was asking.
Yes, the translation effect. Yes, I mean the only thing I said on another platform yesterday is that we have to check our universities. If inflation is coming down, why is it that university school fees doesn't go down? Yes, so Prof, why your fees are not going down?
No, UPSA is. It's not been gone out.
That is just bad. So we can base on that and say yes, there is some level of consumer confidence. Now let's look at business confidence. Businesses naturally, what they want is cost of capital.
Yes.
Now Ghana reference rate MPR 14%, Ghana reference rate 10.03%. Lending rate per the summary of economic and financial data by Bank of Ghana for July, lending rate hovers around 15.5%. So clearly cost of capital is coming down. And if you check the nominal credit expansion to private sector has also increased by more than 41%. So what it technically means is that business confidence to some extent has also been inspired because as a businessman, you can go to the bank, borrow at a much lesser cost to expand your operation. And I mean, this is something that businesses can testify.
But my question was about, when you speak to people, they tell you there is no money in the system. That's why I wanted you to compare it to Govt to say, and he mentioned earlier that people are not able to buy, even though inflation is down, cost of borrowing is down, but people are not able to buy.
I'm not sure how said that too.
He mentioned it a while ago.
Really?
Yeah. When you speak to a lot of traders, they will tell
the purchasing power.
Exactly. You mentioned is that.
I think.
So how does the budget answer that question? People have been purchasing.
The figures are even here on what Nelson has. I have the same thing.
Yes.
He used consumer confidence index. Then we have business confidence index. They have dropped. They have dropped. The last figure was 112.7%. That's against 113. It's also reduced the business confidence level. Has also gone down.
Really?
Yes.
So the fact is, I mean, you don't
compared to what?
This is the 20s.
You don't expect these figures to.
No, we are comparing to when?
No, this year. It's
2026.
2026.
But his question is comparing to which period?
You are saying it has dropped.
Month by month.
Okay.
Okay, so you are mentioning June in reference to like May.
Okay.
Yeah. But to the extent that these figures actually are above 100, then we are okay.
Yeah.
Okay. To the extent that they are above 100, we are okay. If it were to drop below 100, then we could say that there is a problem. Now, going forward, I think that the priority projects of government, that is what is going to inspire some level of economic activity, because as you can rightly say, we are saying that the government, in terms of the budget, the expenditure 158 billion, but the government ended up doing 127 billion. But you could also
see the expenditure should have been 158, but they are doing 127.
Yes, total expenditure.
That's the difference is quite.
The difference is quite, and in terms of percentage of GDP, the actual 8.0. and the program is 9.9, which is also, we could look at 1.8%, and that is high. Now, it could also be tied to what Prof said earlier, because the upper part is not really looking good in terms of revenue mobilization. So you have to do certain adjustment to the bottom line. Now, the question is, if you are doing the cutting of the expenditure in your capex, and that is where the issue is. I mean, if you are doing it to your social interventions and all that, well, I mean, they are deferred. But once you are not expanding your capex, it means that you are not growing the economy. Because in as much as we are all applauding the government for the big push and all the major, infrastructure projects going around the country, we must also not lose sight of the other capital expenditure element. Because even in the budget, government allocated, the 2026 budget, government allocated 57.7 billion for interest payment alone, which is about 19% of total expenditure. They also allocated the same amount for capital expenditure. So there's a problem there. Because if you are using the same amount to service your debt, and you are using the same amount to actually capex, then there is a problem. So we need to realign the data so that we can draw a very good...
All right, I'll come to you, Prof. This one says, Kojo, the continued reliance on monetary sterilization by the finance minister to manage headline inflation cannot come at the detriment of real economic activity. To claim that no new taxes have been introduced is inaccurate. The withdrawal of tax reliefs on bunkering is tantamount to the imposition of a new task. Well, I think I even asked you.
You did ask.
Yes.
It is also worrying that there was no reporting on revenue and expenditure performance relative to targets. That was because the narrative doesn't look good. We remain vigilant. Professor E. Bruce Amate Jr., a.k.a. Manchi Bruce II, in
I think...
Why you disagree with him?
I mean, the first aspect of it, I agree. But saying not reporting in relation to the target, people are taking the summary of his presentation. But he needs to get...
so let's educate. Are the targets there now?
Oh, but he was mentioning them.
Let's give them.
That's how we're able to say that we didn't meet revenue target.
Exactly.
Isn't it? He's having it.
Yeah, so let's
look at
Appendix
2A.
Yes.
Summary of central government.
Have read all these appendices.
Yes. So total revenue 126.
Yes.
7.9% of GDP. We did 124.7.
Yes.
Representing 7.8% of GDP.
Okay. So
that of the total
year. So they are there.
They are there.
So that's what I'm saying. That second part was. I mean, Kojo, what I would say is that we have a system, a country where, at any point in time in this country, 40% of the population is praying hard that the government should succeed. Another 40% is out there praying that we will fail, so that they will take over. There are some 20% in between that are depending on the environment, are with the 40% here or with the 40% there. For us to move forward, we have to have a point where we all agree as a nation that some things must be depoliticized and we move on. I am taking very constructive criticisms and points being raised here that I think, knowing the finance minister we have and the team that are around him, these inputs, when they receive them, they would work with them so that we can build an economy that works for all of us. Prof made some comments earlier, and I perfectly agree. Where credit is due, let's give credit. I have questions of my own, and my questions are that, look, now I'm a politician. In my constituency, we will not celebrate GDP. We will not celebrate interest rate. We will not celebrate all of that. The bit that we will celebrate is that, okay, fuel price is low, and so they can buy small into their motorbike and go and do their work.
The power is on.
The power is on. They can be able to pay for a tractor to plow. That their maize that is still stuck in their stores from the last farming season that have not been purchased, arrangement has been made.
That's a big issue.
It is a big issue.
Very big issue.
These are the things that we want. That's why I keep asking.
But I didn't hear anything addressed about that.
No, but you see, to be fair, to the finance minister, I decided to read what the question that was set for him is. Prof mentioned his expectation, and I thought initially, this is what I wanted to bring as my opening submission, and I forgot. The question set for the finance minister to answer yesterday is a requirement of the Public Financial Management Act, Section 28, which states that the mid-year review, when it comes, the components: 1, brief overview of recent macroeconomic development of the government. Recent.
No, but you're saying these were the questions set for him.
That is what is.
But the budget review, is it to answer a question? It is statutory. You have to come.
And that is what I'm telling you. The statutory requirement is what I'm saying. That is what he had to fulfill. That's why I call the question set for him. Right. This is what the law requires of him. Anything he did extra is an addition, but he must meet this requirement. Has he met those requirements? And I dare say 100% yes, because the A is that he must give us overview of recent macroeconomic development of the government. An update on the macroeconomic forecast undertaken by the government. An analysis of total revenue, expenditure, and financing performance for the period, which he has done, which is what is giving my colleague here the basis to do those comparisons. A presentation on revised budget, and he was very clear that he's not taking budget revision. Where necessary, plans for submitting the proposed supplementary budget. This was not necessary in this instance. So if you look at it, what the law requires him to do, I think he's done that perfectly. He has not deviated in any form. What we are expecting is, how does all of this, as someone told me yesterday when I came out, the person said, Prof, finance minister can't the
summary of it.
So the time we are looking at, I think 30 seconds it will do. In your kind, Prof. But that doesn't mean you was talking fancy.
The summary of it all is that things were a bit bad. He has stabilized it. He has corrected it. He has given us hope for the future. That where promises that we've made, Accra-Kumasi Expressway, they have not even cut salt for it, but he's saving towards it. When we get there, there'll be money for it. The assurance is that our children will not starve in school because money is being paid. It is up to us, the local people, to hold the duty bearers responsible. If I am aware that my school feeding caterers have been paid, my children should not starve. If I'm aware money has been given to road fund, my road should be maintained. This is where we should be.
30 seconds is that.
Thank you
very much. Yes, Nelson.
Is this our final comment?
Yes.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Well, I think the stability that we have achieved now, the relative stability that we have achieved now, is as a result of some level of coordinated working relationship between the fiscal authorities and the monetary authorities. Because you see that once the finance ministry is recording these beautiful figures, the Bank of Ghana is also relatively stable. I mean, with their intervention, we've seen a lot of improvement in the banking sector, and so we just have to give credit to them for at least giving us this relative stability, and we hope that to be sustained, into the future.
Thank you. Somebody, traders.
Yes. So far, so good for business community. Yes, and in recent years, almost every government, when they come first, second years, you see things are stable.
Okay.
When we are getting to the haywire years, then everything go haywire. We pray and hope that it doesn't happen again. Let's maintain it. Let's keep it. Let's make sure we sustain these gains.
Okay.
And then for business to grow. But on the
God will answer your prayer.
Yes.
And our two first has given his assurance.
Okay. So that when they get to the election year, they don't overspend and then take our economy.
Okay.
But you know, on a 24-hour economy, you see, we got a consultant. We were trying to work with a consultant how we can plug in as Govt. And then the consultant was telling us that we cannot plug into this 24-hour economy with where our interest rate stands. He said for you to even be able to go into 24-hour economy, you need a rate for about 0 to 5%.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, that's what the consultant was telling.
So
yes.
24-hour economy,
so,
if you want to participate, the rate should come to around 5%.
It should be dropped, and then because you'll be looking at power.
Okay. All right.
Yes, you'll be looking at utilities. So these are some of the things. So
thank you.
We all want to be part of this 24-hour economy, but let the structures be in place for it. Yes.
I have a bit of reservation on the approach, though. Yeah. But I'll tell Prof.
We'll talk.
Kojo, considering the amount of money a country we have to pay, 2026, 27, 28, about 111 billion.
Yes.
Heavy reliance on AI as a method of generating revenue. I have a problem.
No. Yes.
Advice we can give to the administration, they should focus, because in the budget they didn't mention anything on reforms as state-owned enterprises. That is one area they must also focus to raking more revenue.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Prof, my reservation about a 24-hour, the market you want to build throughout Ghana, I feel that you should have been more deliberate.
Yeah. A strategic market.
But it is not everywhere that we sell.
No, so it's a general rule, but let me give you assurance here that we have informed individual local assemblies to adapt to what helps them. Some are not building the same model, or some are changing it, some are upgrading the market they have. That is the general rule. It's just that when you send out that money and you don't give a guideline, you abuse.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because if you say you are building 24-hour market, look, I love Agunam content, but everybody in Agunam content knows. We don't. The market doesn't go beyond 7 p.m.
No.
Yada.
No.
Nobody's going to sell or do anything.
It's a model market with a name, but it's not.
But if you do it in Osu, I agree with you.
Yes.
Osu doesn't.
Let them change the word.
Or if you do it, let's say I flout the border town.
It doesn't. They don't
go and flout here.
Just to help you, let them change the word 24.
No.
Model market.
No. It's a flagship program.
I get you up to. But anyway.
But we don't have a local government market. All the markets we have are customary markets.
Yes. So this is the first one.
For example, Abosokai, it was 2 guys who started in a little kiosk, a drinking spot.
And
they
became
a market. So we don't have any. So the structures.
The youth who are looking for employment, they're focusing for 24-hour market.
Yes.
No.
Anyway, we'll have a time to discuss that.
So let's have structured markets.
Yes. For the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it must be strategic. Yes.
Well, you know, when I sit here, my friends do send me. You have to send. So let me send shout out to my friends in Ezile, Ebenezer Yale, to you, Augustine Kofi, Johnson Atta Emmanuel, Isaac Tando, Esther Kofi. Esther married a few months ago. Agnes Koisen, Mary Asian. Good morning to you. Let me go to Katakro. Katakro, we have Joseph Wilson Beidou. You are there. Johnson Kingsley Arthur, Kweku Ansa, Peter Beidou, Susanna Bonnie, and Joseph Kobna and Matilda Aka. Have you heard about Achinim before? You have to come to Hunter West and see the beautiful seashores we have there. You need to pay a visit. Achinim, we have.
That is one of the people likely to get the Agenda 111 functioning quick, because
Agenda 111, exactly.
Almost
yeah. Thank you for that. So when is it coming?
I can't give a assurance.
Okay. So let me say good morning to you, Stephen Kobna, Hannah Akon, Justice Akins, John Arthur, Mary Kobna, Anthony Asian, and Louise Arthur, all of you in Achinimu. Good morning to you. Mr. Mabumua, one in Yamamaza Yirabe, don't you Baba Gomabay Belazo. Now, one among Bahanela, Yembom Paka, Naked Benny, I have Yamabe. Some can clone Abona, at least a big pushy, have a keep 3 point and so on that note, I say thank you for watching. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have a lot of conversations here on the AM show. Oh, Prof, what I said, these Achinimo and Katakro people, their road is terrible. When it drizzles a little, they cannot come to Aguna Nkwanta to sell their goods, and they are farmers and fishermen. So please, AM News Review is sponsored by Syntex Pipes and Pegasus Publishing. I had with me here Professor Isaac Bwedi. He is Dean of the Faculty of Accounting and Finance at UPSA. Professor Titus Bayo is MP for the people of Lambushe and the board chairman for Kolebu Teaching Hospital. He is a medical doctor as well. Nelson Kouaboji is a tax and financial analyst. And then we had my big man, Joseph Paddy, Vice President of Govt. Thank you to our VIP for watching. We'll be back.
Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to Ghana.
Magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. No more president talk matter beer. Coffee Ghana. Classic.
Oh, number one.
At Govt Ghana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
Govt Ghana, classic one. Govt Ghana, number one.
Upgrade your print game with Konica Minolta, proudly powered by SkySat Technologies. From all-in-one machines that print, scan, and copy to professional systems and heavy-duty production machines, we deliver unmatched performance. Right now, SkySat has an unbeatable offer. 1 entire year of free servicing on all Konica Minolta machines. That's 12 months of expert maintenance for new and existing customers. Visit our new VIP print center at Pegasus Place, Airport Residential Area for a live demonstration. Call us on 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. Again, it's 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. SkySat Technologies. Performance that delivers every time.
At St. Peter's Mission School, brought together an exciting blend of fun, discovery, and experiential learning. Designed to extend beyond the traditional classroom, the camp immersed children in practical hands-on activities that sparked curiosity and inspired creativity. Over
Safe water and safe food are essential for healthy communities. As climate change and urbanization heighten public health risk, finding sustainable solutions has become more urgent than ever. It's one of several critical conversations leading up to the International Conference on Energy and Engineering 2026, presented by the University of Energy and Natural Resources in collaboration with Joy News under the theme Engineering the Future, Energy, Agriculture, and Infrastructure Innovations towards Climate Resilience and Sustainable Development. The conference takes place from 30th September to 2nd October 2026. Ahead of the conference, join us this Friday on the AM show as we discuss safe water, safe food, healthy communities, protecting public health in a changing environment. With insights from Dr. Said Ibn Idris Kofi-Addo, lecturer at the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, UNER, Engineer Nana Osei Bunso Akison, acting head of Department Civil and Environmental Engineering, UNER, Engineer Dr. Prince Entry Ajay, Civil and Environmental Engineer, Environmental Health and Sanitation Specialist, Senior Lecturer, UNER, and Deputy Director of the Regional Center for Energy and Environmental Sustainability. Join the conversation this Friday on the AM show.
So the time is now for us to get into this particular discussion. You know what? Food, adriane, and water, they are essential for life. But both can result in diseases if they get contaminated. So why don't we get it right? But how do they even get contaminated? From the growing or from which part? Today we'll break down all of that for you. I have with me in the studio, as Emefa announced to you in that video, Engineer Nana Osei Bunsu Akison, acting head, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, UNER. Good morning, sir. All good?
All good.
Great. Dr. Said Ibn Idris Kofi-Addo, lecturer, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, UNER.
Yes.
Chief, everything good?
Very good.
Well, I love the civil and environmental engineering. And then Engineer Dr. Prince Entry Ajay, Civil and Environmental Engineer, Environmental Health and Sanitation Specialist, UNER. Hey, what are they serious? What be about
health and account?
The health and account.
Yes.
Okay, so then let's start with you. You know, at what point do we say food can be contaminated? Let's start from there.
Okay, so thank you very much. So before food can be contaminated, it must follow the food chain. So that's from the source where it is produced. So that's at the farm gate. Then through markets and also the consuming table. So when we talk about the consuming table, we mean either at vending sites, it can be streets, vending sites, restaurant, and also hotels, and also at our various homes. So at the farm, depending on the activities that farmers engage in, it can contaminate the produce. So we did some studies where we followed the farm, the produce from the farm gate up to the consuming table. At the farm gates, we realized that especially in the case of Ghana, the practices, the use of wastewater was really a source of contamination. So farmers normally use watering cans to irrigate, and the sources of water that they normally use are normally water from drains, dugouts, and also contaminated streams and rivers, which they can channel. But people at times think that it's only wastewater that can contaminate the produce. It goes far beyond that. Even before I talk about the post-harvest activities, at the farm gate also, the soil was also found to be a key determinant of the produce contamination. Why so? Because the soil contamination is precipitated by the contamination from the water, because they use watering cans. It splashes on the soil. But at the same time, farmers also use manure, and in this case, poultry manure. And they are unable to normally dry this poultry manure for the necessary period required before they can apply it. So the two normally make the soil more contaminated, and per the practices, as I said earlier, can really pollute the vegetables, especially when they are produce that can be eaten uncooked. But beyond the farm gate, when you go to the market...
I'll let you get there, but let's tackle the farm gate issue. Yeah. Why do farmers use contaminated water?
Okay, so It's not necessarily because they are not aware of the public health risks associated with using these sources of water. But more times, that's the only source available. That's the first point. So government is unable to even satisfy the needs, the water requirements for domestic, industrial, and even other bigger agricultural practices. And these urban farmers that we are talking about are smallholder farmers, small-scale farmers, and the rest. So they don't have the luxury of potable water to use. So if they don't have it, then what else can they use? Remember also that with the farming practices, it's all year round. They can't depend on rain-fed agriculture because that one is seasonal. So in urban and peri-urban areas, the only source of water that they are available or limited to use will be the drains, so channeled one. If you go to Jowolo, for example, they have a big drain, and on both sides of the drain, we have urban agriculture there. If you go to Marine Drive, they also do the same thing. If you go to Kolebu, so if you go to Kolebu, where you have the doctors and the nurses headquarters, they have big drain and all sorts of municipal and probably some wastewater from the hospital are actually channeled through this water, and that's what they use. That's the first reason, because they don't have alternatives. The second one is that research has also shown that wastewater, especially when treated to some degree of treatment, contains valuable nutrients which the plants need to be able to grow. So it contains nitrogen, it contains phosphorus, it contains potassium, and the rest. Compared to even using clean water. So the farmers also know that. So at times, because it will give them higher yields, which will also result in higher income, they are forced to also depend on those sources of water. Then the third thing is that most of these farmers at our urban and peri-urban agriculture areas, they don't own the land where they operate. The land normally belongs to institutions. Even at GAIEC, they have big urban agriculture farms there, but the land belongs to GAIEC. So they know that at any point in time, they can be asked to evacuate the area or to leave the area. So they themselves are unable to invest on their own, even if they want to do something, like maybe get a borehole, get other small kind of technology to help them. They don't want to invest because they know that at any point in time, they can be asked to leave. So that's why they are forced to normally rely on these sources of water, because it's reliable, affordable, and it's also all year round.
This is serious, because as you started talking about the Jowolo farms, the Kolebu ones, it got me. I'm thinking, hey, the vegetable I ate yesterday, where did they come from? Right. You know, that's interesting. Yes. But Dr. Akosua, let me bring you in here. Now, we know that, look, urban farming is becoming, there are a lot of, it's becoming the way now. You see a lot of, as he's mentioned, a lot of them are here. But why is it so important for our cities today to have such urban farms?
Okay, thank you so much, and good morning to our viewers. Yes, as my colleague said, the urban farming is very, very important to us as a nation, not even only to Ghana, but globally. We have a lot of countries where urban agricultural farming is practiced. So limiting ourselves to Ghana, we see that most of these people, some of these people who are engaged in urban farming, they are from the rural areas who have migrated to these urban centers. And so we realize that some of them, it's just a means of employment. Because they've come, they are unable to engage in other things. So they think these lands are available, and so they can have access to them. So why don't they engage in something profitable, which will not just only be for themselves, but also for their family, because they need something to support their families. So economically, it's beneficial to them. Then other thing is also to enhance food security. Yeah, because you realize that most urban farming is into vegetables, and we know the nutritional values of vegetables, the provision of vitamins and other minerals, and so with that, most of them also want to support our dietary needs. So with that, most of them go into it with the intention of relieving the rural farmers, because, you know, from the rural centers, you need to transport these vegetables. Before even they get to the urban areas, most of them are not in good condition for us to consume them. Then the other part is also for their own livelihood.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just something to support them in their lives.
Dr. Saida, I'll bring you in later because you are going to handle the issue about, you know, the major rivers and what have you. Sure. But let me bring Nana back into the whole thing. He's explained why the urban farming is like what it is today, where cities have them. But when you explained earlier that Kolebu like this, those there, they use the wastewater, I began feeling quite uneasy because yesterday I took salad, right? Okay. So should I be worried, like I am now, that I ate vegetable and I don't know where it came from?
Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily say you have to be worried, but you have to be concerned and you have to be careful. Okay. Because as you said, you don't know where it actually came from, and that's the problem. But as Dr. Akasin also said, we can't say we wouldn't eat vegetables because of the nutritional value that it has. So before maybe I tackle it, I want to just outline some of the findings that we found in our study. So we sampled more than 500 samples of raw produce. We did what we call farm to fork. Farm to fork means you following the produce from where it is irrigated and produced to transportation means market, street vending sites, hotels and restaurants. So in Accra, we did this particular study in Accra. If you put all the produce together, whether raw produce or the prepared salad to be consumed by the public, those sold at the street vending sites, more than 80% of all of them were contaminated by what we called E. coli. We also had other microbes that we also tested for, but I will limit myself to the E. coli because we also even had norovirus, adenovirus in it. But the E. coli is the one that I will discuss. For street vended salad, the prepared one, and not only being contaminated, but it also exceed what we call threshold levels recommended by WHO and our own what technically we call it 2 log E. coli per gram. So if you take every gram of the salad, you shouldn't have more than 100 E. coli on it. But 90% were contaminated and they exceeded that. At farms where it's raw, we have the drain water or the wastewater directly irrigating the produce. More than 88 were contaminated. Markets, lettuce, more than 80%. Then at restaurants and also hotels, that's the alarming one. And as I said, I did a study in Accra here, and we are not talking about street side restaurant. We are talking about big restaurants and hotels in Accra, because this is for academic purposes.
You cannot mention the names, yes.
Their names, but 60% of the salad that they sell were also contaminated. So across board, we had contamination of E. coli in all the food produce. But I must maybe give a caution that the fact that you found E. coli in the produce doesn't necessarily mean that whoever consumes such a produce will actually be infected or will become sick or will become ill. Normally, scientists use the E. coli to denote the presence of fecal pollution. And that one alone, fecal. And that one alone should be a concern. So if
people don't understand, so our listeners are discerning, but if the fecal is the issue, that is human excreta.
Human excreta, warm blood or feces from other warm-blooded animals. So basically, apart from the other pathogens in it, it's like you are consuming, in raw terms, you are consuming feces. That's what basically it also means, whether it's in water, whether it's in the raw produce, or also the salad crop. You are consuming feces. It can be your enemy's feces or your friend's feces. That one nobody knows, but that's what basically it means. So these were the end. The other alarming thing was that the street vended salad had the highest contamination, more than at the farm gates where they've actually used the raw water to irrigate the produce. So, as Dr. Akasin said, we have to balance the nutritional value with also the health risks. And there are a lot of other strategies or ways that we can adopt to be able to reduce the risks. And I think maybe as we go on, I'll be able to explain that. Thank you.
So quite interesting. This means that we should be worried. I should be worried about the salad I ate yesterday.
Yes, I was. But
I need it now.
Yes.
I'm feeling quite uneasy.
Yes.
Yesterday I ate salad.
Okay. So if you want me to go on.
Go into it, yes.
Okay. But the thing is that if I should, so apart from the microbial analysis that we also did, we wanted to understand what makes people buy from one vendor and not the other. Before I give the results, if I'm to ask the panel or the members here, I'm sure I will get similar results as I got from, so maybe I will use you as an example.
Okay.
So what makes you buy, do you know Check?
Yes.
You know Check.
Yeah.
So those street vendors who sell salad.
I'm not.
Who sell, fried rice or jollof with chicken and also salad. So what will make you buy from vendor A and not vendor B? Just give me your top indicator you use to select your vendors. Where you buy from. Reality, I just want you to be frank.
I don't buy Check. That's the only
thing. But any food you buy,
buy food.
Yes, any food you buy
usually is on recommendation.
Okay.
If a friend recommends that this is nice,
okay,
I will.
Okay.
But personally, when I go there, I'll check the environment.
Okay.
Is the place neat?
Okay.
And if you are by the drain, I get worried a bit, but yeah. And then taste is also there.
Okay. Okay, so you mentioned taste, and taste was the highest indicator that people actually use to select one vendor from the other.
So usually when it is, when you recommend it,
yes. Exactly, and the other one is friendship. Friendship with the person, proximity to the vending site. Those were like the top, or for the market, how fresh the vegetables look.
Yeah.
So you are among the 2% who will consider hygienic conditions or the environment. So out of street food vendors, I interviewed 160 people. Those who buy from market, I interviewed 160 people, and only 2% actually base their choice of one vendor from the other based on health reasons. That's basically the hygienic practices and also the environmental conditions of the vendor. So that's one. Now the other thing is that, and we had high percentage of people who were aware of the health risks associated with using wastewater for urban agriculture, but that one did not translate into their practices, whether at farms, whether at market, or even at street vending sites. So for those who buy, for example, we asked one question. Even though the awareness was high, we also asked another question, if they know the source of the water that they use. That one, it was low, apart from market women, where we had some kind of higher percentage. But for street food consumers, one alarming result was that we asked, so if you were told that the vegetable that you are consuming, we actually use wastewater to irrigate it, and for Ghanaians, if you say we use gutter water to irrigate it, will you still buy it? And a significant 40% of them still said they will buy. They will
even
buy
when they hear it from the
when they hear it, because they haven't really seen it. So because they haven't really seen it, or the farmers actually using the contaminated water to irrigate it, for them is the prepared food. And as you rightly also said, the taste is the topmost indicator that people actually use, and also even cost, because they want it tastes good. They can also get but like bigger quantities. So why should they really care about the health component? So that's also one alarming thing. Yes, but for market, those who buy from the market, for them the percentage who will buy, if they were told that the source of irrigation water used to irrigate is from gutter or drain water, that one is like we had somehow lower percentage, still indicating that.
Okay, interesting. Dr. Axon, now I haven't listened to this. What is the best way to deal with the challenges that we're confronted with?
Okay, so thank you. Yeah, so with now we know that our vegetables are highly contaminated with fecal material. Yeah, so one per research that we carried out, one of the most trusted way of handling something is to use, let me start with the cheapest one, is to use salt water.
Okay.
Okay, so that means you need to decontaminate our vegetables. And first of all, if you are dealing with leafy vegetable, those ones, they are just straight leaf. But if you have vegetable like cabbage, the best way is take out the outer peel. Okay, that will save you, the consumer. Then you need to soak.
But if you take the outer peel, the water has been taken up by the plant through the root into the system.
Right.
So even the inner that I'm going to eat, the water, that's the nutrient that the plant fed on.
Right.
So it's there.
Right. That's why when you take the outer one out, you soak the rest in the salt water.
Okay.
I usually recommended 10 to 20 minutes.
Should I cut before I do this? Or
you cut.
I cut before I put it. Okay.
Rinse first, then you dip it in the salt water for a period of time to help in decontaminating the microorganisms. Then, secondly, you can go with vinegar. Vinegar is also very helpful in decontaminating that. But when it comes to the water, the use of water, one thing I will say is that do not use the same water for different vegetables. That's the mistake that often we have at the marketplace. Because people, they will just take the veggies and they'll just dip it in the same water over, so there's transfer. As you were saying, that those at the marketplace, they had higher concentrations of microbial load.
So it means if I use the water for this one, I should throw it away and do another salt solution.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. To preserve the quality of the vegetable that you are going to use. I know, and that's even for the micro. But if you come to other things, maybe I know that will come to that later, but if you are supposed to deal with heavy metals and maybe even pesticide, because these people also use pesticide, and you have residues of all these on the vegetables. And we know that pesticides are also very toxic to our health. So that means for vegetables, for instance, pesticide, for instance, you may have to rinse it under running water, because as it is, you can also not dip it in the water, because after you decontaminate it, the pesticide, most of them do not dissolve in water. So since they do not dissolve in water, they will still adhere to or absorb onto the surfaces of the vegetables again. And so you think you may have washed it, but because it's still in the same water, you are still having access to the pesticide which is on it. Okay, so when it comes to decontamination of these vegetables, we will not say, in as much as we try to conserve water, if you go so much into water conservation too, your health is at risk.
Quite an interesting piece here. Let me bring in Dr. Kofi-Addo now. Doc, I don't want us to start from even the rivers at all. Okay. Now, I want us to, because yesterday, before this particular interaction, and I'm sure you've seen it, there are videos that the FDA is going around some water production companies. But if I'm going to water my crop, once I see a clear water, I know it's safe. Not so.
Yes. Thank you very much. So clean water and safe water has distinction. So for example, if you talk about clean water, then we are talking about the water being clear aesthetically. We are saying that, okay, this water is colorless. Then we are saying that the water is very clear or clean. But we still have the constituent in it. So for example, if the water is contaminated with fecal pathogens or fecal indicator bacteria, still the water will be colorless. So you will see that, okay, the water is very clean, and people will still be consuming it, but at the end, we still have this constituent in it. So for example, even with our water treatment facilities, sometimes we treat the water, the turbidity is removed, but we still have some of the heavy metals which are not trapped with our current wastewater treatment facilities. So water can be clean, but it's still not safe for consumption unless it has been properly checked.
So what must we do? What should people watching us now do to make sure that their water is safe to drink and to use to water their crops?
Thank you very much. I want to give you a bit background about this water. So as it stands, we know, we are all aware that most of our river waters is polluted. But one thing that we don't know is that the surface water also have interaction to recharge the groundwater. So which means that if our surface water is polluted, available groundwater is also getting the contamination and is also polluted. But we know that this groundwater, it will filter the water, so in terms of turbidity, you realize that the water will be clear. But studies have shown that these waters is also recording higher level of fecal matters, as well as even the heavy metals in them. So what we should do is that first, we have our treatment facilities. These treatment facilities target some of the parameters, but we should know that it doesn't target all of them. So for example, if we treat our water and we still do galamsey activities, which introduces heavy metals into them, our treatment facility do not cover that. So we should be cautioned and stop using this mercury and other substances that we use, because we still don't have the advanced treatment facilities to treat them.
Yes. So if I want to, now time is running, but I have water. I want to use it to water my crops in the house or on the farm. I need some to drink. What would be your recommendation? What must we do to ensure they are safe?
Thank you very much. So now, the water that we have, the basic thing that we should do, depending on the sources of the water, because majority of people rely on surface water. So now the surface water, what they can do is at least they should boil the water. Boil the water, and that kills some pathogen, but it does not kill almost all of them. So at least you are making it safe for them. People that use borehole water sources, most of them pump into overhead tanks. So what we encourage them to do is, once the water has been filtered into the tank regularly, we should be cleaning our tanks, because it might still also contain microbes. So we need to still clean our containers, cover our storage containers to avoid other microbes that are getting into our river system.
Like those of us who produce water, you need to wash your tanks. We do it every 2 weeks to ensure that the tanks are clean. Just about wrapping up, Dr. Akosua, what will be your recommendation to government and to all of us watching in terms of making sure our water is safe, affecting our food as well?
So I think for some institutions like the AMA, they have the bylaws to deal with that, but the issue has to do with implementation. In most cases, implementation is not so effective. So they need to implement the bylaws so that these farmers, they will have alternative source of water. We can go into rainwater harvesting, but in most cases, most of these people are also far away from residences where they can tap rainwater, but we can still do that and channel it to them. And the other things, I think government should look at this from source, because the wastewater is coming from either residences or industries. So that means they have to treat it in the first place. If they don't treat it, the farmers will have access to it, because we cannot have our daily monitoring. The government is not having the resources to do the daily monitoring. So they have to ensure that from the source, the water is treated. So that before it gets to the farmer, most of these contaminants have been dealt with. And I think finally we need to move the farmers some away from the roadside, because the closer they are to the roadside, because of emissions from vehicles, they don't need to go to the galamsey area, but their closeness to or proximity to the road also they attract deposits of heavy metals from our vehicles into the vegetables.
Quite a revelation here. We have not thought about that actually, that there could be metals coming from the exhaust onto the vegetables that we're eating. Nana, your recommendations here?
Okay, so for food safety, I would say that it's a shared responsibility, but not equal responsibility, because those entrusted with the authority and also the resources will have to do more. So as Dr. Akosua said, government has a huge role to play, because as I said in my initial submission, you can't blame the farmer when you've allowed the water to be polluted upstream. Because if you don't have the necessary treatment plant in this case for government, to ensure that the water that ends up as runoff in our environment is treated, then the farmer has no choice. And I must also even state that statistically, we have just less than 15% of the wastewater generated in our communities being treated.
Okay.
But we also have low-cost options that government can adopt.
Okay.
And even at times, some of the farmers can also even adopt that. We have what we call constructed wetlands. So in this case, you have some plants that have the capacity to be able to treat the water. So it works similar to natural wetland.
Okay.
So you might be hearing most of our wetlands have been encroached upon.
Yeah.
Apart from harboring special species and the rest, it also has the ability to treat wastewater and to also be able to harbor water to prevent flooding. But if you have the constructed one, you are transferring them, you add sand, you add gravels, and it's able to treat the wastewater. So that's one. Then we also have waste stabilization ponds that can also help in reducing the contamination. At the farm, the farmers can also do some other small strategies to be able to reduce that. I said initially that because they use watering cans, it splashes the soil, and because the soil is contaminated also with poultry manure, when they end up on the leafy vegetables, then it becomes a public health issue. So instead of just using the watering cans without it direct from the spout, they can actually use filters to cover the mouth so that as they are spraying or as they are watering, it reduces the contamination of the soil as it splashes. They can also use what we call drip irrigation, furrow irrigation. All of them target the roots of the plant instead of on the living vegetables. Yes. So with the ones that consumers and market vendors can do, I think Dr. Akasen has enumerated a lot of them.
I guess that the bigger interaction we'll have on UNAIR campus would help us. But this really is a very good interaction that we've had. Now when I'm going to buy vegetable, I know what to do. Engineer Dr. Prince Entry Ajay is who you heard from, but Engineer Nana say Odbunsu Akasen is acting head, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering UNAIR. Dr. Saeed Ibn Idris Kofi Yeboah is lecturer, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering UNAIR, and Dr. Prince, Engineer Dr. Prince Entry Ajay, a civil and environmental engineer, and also environmental health and sanitation specialist. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you.
Well, we'll take a pause here. We'll be back with more. Do stay.
Let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address, it's the home you truly earned. Secure your place with just a 10% deposit and choose from beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant, curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym, and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy while retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection, executive pricing, and flexible payment options available. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
Welcome to Sulas Enterprise, the shop that deals in industrial machinery such as generators, rice millers, water pumps, compressors, and mowers. From the smallest to the largest capacity, at Sulas Enterprise, we give you nothing but the best from the best brands such as Honda and Perkins. When it comes to our generators, we also sell mowers coming from brands like Honda, Briggs and Straton, and Oleuma. And when it comes to our water pumps, we offer you brands like Lily, and Pedrolo water pumps. We also sell rice millers for all capacities. We are located at Spintex Kakalika Plaza. Also find our various locations as displayed on screen, or call us on the following numbers: 0243-839-463 or 0554-154-416 or 0240-541-493.
Sulas Enterprise, where quality meets affordability.
Through every stage of life,
let's go.
Some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era. Love was service. A silent statement of love. A forceful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is there.
Well, hello, and thank you for staying. So let's talk about the International Conference on AI in Healthcare and Pharma. I know we've been having AI conversations here, but we really have not, skewed it down particularly to healthcare and pharma. Here's why we're going to have this conversation. So the University of Health and Allied Sciences in Ho, in the Volta region, where I come from, is hosting the International Conference on AI in Healthcare and Pharma 2026. Of course, it's a premier platform bringing together healthcare professionals, policymakers, researchers, technology innovators, academia, and industry leaders to discuss how artificial intelligence is vital in transforming healthcare delivery and pharmaceutical innovations in Africa and also beyond. And this morning, I'm joined by Professor Alexander Ansah-Menu. He's Director, Institute of Health Research, UHAS, in Ho. Of course, my own sister, Ekia Norma. She is a student and member of the planning committee. As well, I'm also joined by Dr. Mafwatete Amlalo, pharmacist. Ladies and Prof, thank you so much for joining me in studio this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, we hear about artificial intelligence, but to be the first time I'm going to be hearing about it in healthcare and pharmaceuticals as well. But what has inspired this organization? Let me come to you, Prof, first.
Thank you very much, and greetings to your viewers and those who are listening to us on various platforms around the world. So artificial intelligence, if you ask me, I describe it as an alien with a humanoid characteristics. If you see an alien, if we hear now in Ghana that an alien has landed in Keta, everybody will be running away.
That's true.
So the first thing is an atmosphere of fear. But we are lucky that artificial intelligence becomes very useful for Ghana, because if we welcome this alien, learn its language, and make it our friend, then it would help us in many ways that we cannot do several things. So the Ghana strategy for artificial intelligence was launched in May, I think on the 15th of May, by the President and the Minister of Communications. And after the launch, in the strategy, the 8-pillar strategy had specific sectors that needed to be touched on, and healthcare was highlighted.
Okay.
So we are building from that foundation, and to make sure that we take control of our destinies. As I was saying yesterday, that it's our health destiny that we are describing. If we sit down and we allow others to set the pace, it becomes very difficult to catch up. And so Ghana is particularly placed to take forward this agenda. And so this conference is aimed at bringing together the various people that you have mentioned. And our Vice Chancellor, Professor Aziato, is hosting this conference and to bring together the industry players to make sure that we have a conversation around this. So it is primarily following up on the national strategy and couching out healthcare and pharma as a typical area, because our university only trains health professionals. So we are particularly placed to be able to lead
let's stay on exactly why you're doing this, and you've just also opened it, but you're skewing it down to healthcare and pharma. Surely there may be some opportunities in this.
Yes.
You want to let us in on how AI will present an opportunity, especially in the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry. Maybe I should go to the pharmacist.
Thank you very much. Yes, you are right. AI would help us in so many ways. For example, in our pharmacies, it will help to make things faster. In the hospital, when you go, there's a long queue. The doctor has to now do the x-rays, do so many things. But for example, as Prof said, it is an alien, but if we make the alien a friend, the alien would come to help us. We are not in competition. We are collaborating with it to make things faster, to make diagnosis better. There's a lot of diseases out there. There's a lot of research going on. But if we infuse it with artificial intelligence, we are working faster. We are meeting a larger population. For example, if the doctor will take 3 minutes, if you are employing AI to help us with your diagnosis, you can say do 30 seconds or 1 minute. The time is short, you're able to look after more people. The queues at the hospitals will decrease. So AI is here to help us, not to compete with us in any way.
I mean, let me go to another health professional who as well is a student. Once you're a student, yeah, and I know exactly what you're studying, so you are researching. Tell me how AI is improving or making it easy, difficult, challenging, your experience so far, and the benefits that you would get as a student, researcher, and all of that if you attend this conference.
Okay, so one thing is that a lot of findings are coming up, and unfortunately the students that are really the tech whiz and then also coming up with or playing with this AI don't have funding. You get it? So they have the knowledge, they are exploring. The elderly or the people who have it do not have the money now, but the students are now I mean, they are exploring from every avenue. So when you come, you see that there are researches that has been done with AI. And then when you even go on our LinkedIn, all the adverts that it was done by students.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the visible result.
So it's a very good opportunity for industries to come partner with us so that they can get to also fish out these students who can help them in the future, because the future is the youth.
Okay.
And if you come, you get to meet these young ones, and then we can fetch them out so that we know where, before they even graduate, you catch them young and then you're getting. So it's a very good platform, and we want to employ partners to come with it, because those of us who are students, we cannot afford, even though we have the skill. So if we get people partnering with us, it helps students to do more research in AI based so that we can help with policy making, because everything has to do with data.
Okay.
Show us evidence. We have the evidence. And so based on this evidence, policy should be formulated around it. And
it sounds like we've started the conference here already.
To add to what she was saying that there are a lot of students in Ghana who have done a lot of research, but because they don't have sponsorship, they are not showcasing it. So this conference would actually give opportunities for students, especially university students, to showcase what they've done. They are doing a lot of research. We've received about how many?
50-something
abstracts. And these are all going to be showcased there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. So then if people who want to sponsor and other things come on board, you're going to get a lot of things you can invest in. And then there's sponsorship. We have about 4 categories of sponsorship. I think we've got the platinum, we've got the gold, we've got the bronze, and we've got the silver.
Okay. There's platinum, gold, and
bronze and silver. Yes.
Okay, so that's for those who want to partner with you for this conference. I'll be asking what they will get in return when they sponsor. But let's also focus on how individuals and organizations can register to be part of the conference. Prof, you want to tell me about that?
Yes, okay. So thank you very much again. So this conference is not going to be the normal talk shop conference where people go and we talk and it gets to nothing. One of the key things we want to do in the conference program is to have a first day that is completely dedicated to building our knowledge on AI. What is the national drive towards AI in health? And how are we going to align all these things with all the other sectors that are relevant for health? That's the first day. So having gone on that journey, the second day would be showcase. And that showcase, like we said, is going to have test use cases. For example, yesterday I was mentioning that the number 3 killer of children in Ghana is infections. And these infections can come from the umbilical cord. Now we have a student or a group of people who have come up with an AI model that would be able to just look at the skin and the wound of the child and know that this wound is going to get infected. This child can die from that infection. A third, or the number 3 killer, is being addressed just with the application of AI.
Really
I also mentioned, John, that Look, the brain of the child is destroyed by jaundice, that yellowing of the skin that a baby normally gets when they are born early, especially if they are premature babies. Now, if it doesn't kill the baby, it destroys the brain. So the economic productivity is affected in the long term.
Okay.
We have an AI demonstration that we are going to make in this conference. And that is why pediatricians must be there. That's why everybody must be on board. So it's not every village in Ghana or every district in Ghana that has a pediatrician. But every district in Ghana can have an AI tool to help in the diagnosis of neonatal jaundice. And this can reduce deaths.
Okay.
So there's a lot.
How can they register? All these.
So there's a link that we are providing, and also there's a QR code. If you can go to the website of the conference, which is icaih.org, then you can register there. Otherwise, you can also go to the UHAS website, that is uhas.edu.gh. And then you go to IHR and you go to the international conference. But you can also Google it, and then you would see. On the LinkedIn platform, you can see the QR code there.
Okay.
You can just scan it and you can register. And the registration has various levels.
Okay.
For students, for normal participants like healthcare workers and others. And then we have what we call the VIPs. And these VIPs coming in because on the third day of the conference, we are organizing a focused session for which we are calling roundtable, executive roundtables. And that is not just talk. That is where industry players, leaders in FDA, NVI, and others are sitting around the table with AI experts and looking at, these are our challenges. What can AI help us do? And then they come up with solutions.
I'm sure you know that we may not be able to cover all the information you need, but we've put the flyer up on the screen, and as well go to the website. But Mami, you want to tell me, I know that it's UHAS that is hosting this conference.
There's a number to call.
There's a number to call.
Yeah.
But where is it happening? The location?
So UHAS campus, University of Health and Allied Sciences campus in Ho, and it's on the 4th to the 6th of August.
Okay.
So we have barely like 2 weeks from now.
For you to get ready.
4th to 6th of August. It's a 3-day packed conference. Every day and its activities, and as Prof said, the first day we are having the opening ceremony, which has all the international speakers that are talking to us. And then we have the students also showcasing their works. And then on the third day, we climax with the roundtable discussion. And then there's the opportunity for networking.
Okay.
Yes, so marketing and networking. So if you have your product, as you partner with us, you can come and exhibit it and then also get to showcase what you have as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll give the final words to Doc. Doc, so you said there was a number to call.
Oh, so there's a number to call in case you're finding difficulty online.
In case you decide to listen to everything.
So it's 0244 619629.
Okay, you want to say it again?
0244 619629.
Okay, so just a gentle reminder, the theme for this conference is accelerating adoption of healthcare AI in Ghana from a vision and policy to practice and impact. That's it right there on your screen. Yes, well, you can see all the speakers that will be available to address this conference. So do well to be part of it. All the information is on the website and their LinkedIn page as well. Prof, Doctor, my sister, it's good to see you and good to have this conversation with you.
Thank you. And we are inviting you.
Thank you very much.
It's the oxygen city of Ghana, you know.
Ho is the cleanest as well.
It's the cleanest.
Volta region.
I mean, that's where you breathe oxygen. Oh. How do we say?
We need to help you with a place here.
Well, a wazo now.
A wazo. Now I'm feeling at home. Thank you. Doc, thank you. Prof, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Please stay. There's another conversation I'd like you to stay and participate. So stay with me.
Everything has meaning. But not everything is as it seems. For every story told, there are versions of the truth.
We can't afford to look at this, the numbers that have been presented, and say, we are tired, it's the same old issue. No, somebody should be prosecuted.
Every opinion can be debated. Every claim can be challenged. Even the idea of the national interest can and must be interrogated.
This is the date it was. This was the date it was printed from the system.
That is what
what is he talking about?
Because sometimes the real facts are buried deep within layers of interpretation. So we ask the harder questions. We test every claim. We raise the standard of public discourse and place every issue on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first.
We stand beneath you. What are you doing? Clearly,
Newsfile with Samson Ladi Anyanini. On Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible.
Well, thank you for staying. Let's talk about the Infantofim School because they celebrated 150 good years secondary education in Ghana, and they have an anniversary award and lecture coming up. And joining me in studio this morning to talk about that is Dr. John Manful. He is member of the MERBA Executive Committee and 150th Anniversary Planning Committee. Doc, thank you so much for joining us in studio. Congratulations, 150 years.
Thank you very much for having us here, and you're most welcome.
Right, let's start with the anniversary awards. What inspired Infantofim to institute these awards?
Well, 150 years in the life or in the history of any institution is a very, very long way. And we know that over the years there have been people who have been associated with the school, either as students, either as teachers, either as lovers and partners of the school, who need mention and who need recognition. And that's our main inspiration.
Okay. Well, many people, as well as you've just been telling me, associate recognition with wealth or public office. Are these awards looking beyond titles and status at all?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And we have put in measures to be able to remove biases, right? There are all kinds of awards which are, around these days. Some of them you have to pay for them. Some of them people come and lobby and all kinds of things. But ours are transparent, and you don't have to have any money. Okay. You don't need one penny. You don't need anything to be able to get nominated and get rewarded if you merit that award.
So the nominations are open now as we speak?
The nominations are open now. And we do it online.
Okay.
In fact, actually, we have got independent adjudicators. No, they are not adjudicators. They are auditors. They are auditing the whole process, right?
Okay.
There's a reputable auditing company in this country. I don't have permission to mention their names, so I'm not going to mention their name. But they are auditing the whole process to make sure that it is absolutely fair.
Okay.
So we have a website on which you can nominate. It is awards with S, .infantipim150.org.
Okay.
So you go onto awards.infantipim150.org, and then you go there, and there are various awards, 16 awards in total. 16 awards.
Which one is the most outstanding one out of the 16?
We have the 16 awards are in 4 categories, right? One of it is just for old boys of the school, okay, which is like distinguished alumnus in various categories. And then we have got another awards which are not, 2 main awards are not necessarily old boys. Anybody can, if you have been associated with a school, either as a teacher, they are teachers' awards. They are awards for non-teaching staff, people who worked in the school or served the school, not as teachers. We're talking of the kitchen staff, the laboratory assistants, I mean, all those kind of people over the years would be awarded.
By association, if you're married to an old boy, is that category 4?
Well,
I think you should think about that.
We will think about that. We will think about that. You can be an associate member, but
some way, somehow, right? Well, Doug, let's talk about I know that this event is into 2 folds. There's the awards and then there's a lecture as well. You want to tell me about the lecture?
Okay, let me just round off with the awards, right?
Okay.
When you go onto this page, right, on which you have the awards, you would see that you go into a page, you have the submitter, the one who is, and it's only based on nomination, yeah?
Okay.
So if you are not nominated, you are not considered.
Right.
Somebody has to nominate you no matter what, no matter what you have done.
You can't nominate yourself.
You can, well, in a way you can nominate yourself, right? But you got to give us the one who is nominating, the submitter's name, your contact number, the nominee's name, then the category of the 16 that you are looking for, you go in there and click, and then you do a justification. And if you want to upload any documentation, you can upload everything onto there.
Right.
That's the only way by which you can get nominated.
Okay.
So when you do that, then they, but we only have a few days, up to the end of the month, or maybe, we have just about 1 or 2 weeks more.
How long ago has this portal been opened?
For about 3 weeks now.
Okay, and the nominations coming in?
Some are coming in, I can't tell you, but some are coming in. Some are coming in.
Okay.
And then at the end of the day, we'll look at all of it, and then we can tell when they are coming in, but we don't know what is being done.
Okay.
So it's completely blind, and then we'll look at it afterwards.
Okay. Okay. Then the second major thing will be the lecture, though.
Yes, but the lecture is not just one lecture. I think it's the second in a series of lectures.
Okay.
Right? One has taken place in Cape Coast already. This one is taking place next week here in Accra on Wednesday, that's the 28th of July.
Okay.
Yes, in Accra.
Next week?
At the Accra Ridge Church Hall.
Okay.
Yep.
Why did you choose Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers to be the speaker?
He's one of our beloved old boys, one of our distinguished beloved old boys. Dr. Chambers is from the 1968 group, yeah? He's not spring he looks like a young man, but he's not. He left school in 1968.
Jeez.
Think about that. You are calculating something. So he's one of our senior boys, yeah?
Okay.
Good. He's one of our senior boys, and he's going to give that lecture.
Very well pleased to deliver that.
He knows a lot about education as well. He served in the education field, and yeah. So we're looking forward to listening to.
Well, would you tell me about the theme, the lecture theme that he'd be speaking about?
He's going to talk about.
Is it education for peace, democracy, and responsible citizenship?
And responsible citizenship. Okay. I mean, it doesn't need any explanation,
I agree.
Right? We have a democracy in this country and in so many other countries, but sometimes you ask yourself, is this what all democracy is about? But then underlining democracy and everything is a responsible citizen. No matter what the system that you have, no matter what you have in place in terms of governance, if the citizenry are not responsible, there is a problem.
Okay.
Recently we had the floods, right? Apart from the fact that so much water fell from the sky that we couldn't cope with, we also, through our little irresponsibilities here and there, contributed to this. You know, so these are the things, amongst other things, that Dr. Chambers is going to...
Very important. Education for peace, democracy, and responsible citizenship. Quickly, who can attend? Who should attend?
Anybody,
is it open?
everybody.
Oh,
everybody.
That's kind of you.
It's open to everybody. In fact, you're all welcome to attend.
Thank you very much.
You're all welcome to attend and listen to Dr. Chambers. The younger ones probably don't know very much about Dr. Chambers. In the last few years, he's probably not been around. But
do yourself a favor. Read about him.
Read about him.
28th. Get yourself a date and then just go and listen to that lecture.
Exactly.
Beyond that, what would you like this lecture to ignite policymakers? Sorry? Beyond the lecture, what would you like the lecture to ignite? Policymakers should be interested. What would you like to do?
Educators, policymakers, the general citizenry. You know, we all have to come and, you know, absorb some of these things and reflect on them and, you know, make it part of our lives.
Okay.
You know, it is absolutely important.
Doc, that's your camera. In just a few minutes, I want you to present the call to action for those watching you or listening to you this morning regarding the anniversary and even beyond. 150 years, my goodness, that's a lot. What's the call to action?
Exactly. What we're celebrating is not just Infantsipim. We're celebrating Ghana. And we're celebrating 150 years of secondary education in Ghana. There were so many schools which preceded Infantsipim, but they were, you know, not secondary schools. They were primary schools and all kinds of creches and that. But at a certain point, it became necessary that the citizenry be given secondary education, and Infantsipim was the first, you know, of the line. So we're celebrating that. 50 years ago, we celebrated 100 years, and since then, many schools have passed 100 years.
Sure.
But this is 150. And it is, that is the reason why it is for the whole country. I tell you, the Anniversary Planning Committee was put in place 2 years ago, right? The Anniversary Planning Committee was inaugurated about 2 years ago, and they've been working. But the anniversary itself was launched last April, right? Okay. Which coincided with actually the date, 3rd of April, 1876. That was when the school was founded. So 3rd of April, I think it was the 11th of April this year, the anniversary was launched by the Vice President, right?
Okay.
The climax is in November, the second weekend in November.
I'm certain that we'll have another conversation to talk about the climax, right?
So it's down the line.
Well, Doc, thank you so much. We've just been talking to Dr. John Manful. He's a member of the MOBA Executive Planning Committee and as well the 150th Anniversary Planning Committee. Doc, thank you so much. Pleasure to have you in studio. Quickly before I wrap, happy birthday to the wife of Adum TV's KMA, Mrs. Regina Elo Kofi, and their precious daughter, Nyamie Ekwia Kofi. May God bless your new age and may prosperity and divine health be your portion in Jesus' name from KMA. And quickly as well, happy birthday to Mrs. Esther Afane Boafo, Sunday school teacher of, I'm sorry, I was not able to get that name well, but happy birthday to you. We hope that you have a good one, Mrs. Esther Afane Boafo. You are a Sunday school teacher at the Christ Apostolic Church, I think. But thank you so much for watching the show. We are wrapping up. I'll see you at 12 for the midday bulletin, but please do stay for Joy News Desk with Mamie Sinyamisha Famsi.